2, 3, go.
Folks, welcome back to the Get Off Our Lawn Show. My name is Dave Jackson over here in Western Pennsylvania. My buddy with a beard who has its own gravitational pull over there is Mr. Dave Seymour down in North Carolina. Now, folks, before I introduce our guest, you folks who watch the podcast have heard me say the term legacy family. A legacy family is a family back in Dryden who has had an impact on Dryden at some course over our generations, or still has folks back there in Dryden. For example, I would call legacy family names like Fitzgibbons, Case, Donnelly, Edmonds. I would also include the name Motsay. And with us today, we have Mr. Mike Motsay. How's it going, man?
What an intro. Man, thank you very much. That means a lot. Yeah. Good families you mentioned there for sure.
Yeah, legacy families for sure. And you definitely fit that bill, sir. Yeah. You definitely fit that bill.
My folks just left last fall to after 61, 62 years living in the same house and to Kannapolis, North Carolina. So yeah, the Motsay
Kannapolis is more towards Charlotte, right?
Yeah, just outside of Charlotte, right. Just north of there. My sister Lisa's there, and their grandkids are right around the corner too. So it's
everybody's
my brother Joey's in Greensboro. So it's yeah.
Well, being in Raleigh, Pam's folks are just on the other side of Charlotte. They're in Gastonia.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so we travel that way quite a bit, back and forth.
Yeah. 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 So my brother loves it. He's an hour away in Greensboro, but yeah, so they finally did it. It was a long time, and I guess it was pretty easy winter back home, but except for I guess a couple of weeks ago last week they got a bunch of snow. But yeah, they're happy where they are. They can't believe how much the sun shines.
I know it's a
Carolina blue skies.
Different ball game from Dryden and Ithaca area.
Yeah. So
but it's nice.
Yeah.
So Dave, go ahead.
So typically, I'm not sure how many shows you watched. It's not important. But what I want to ask you is, when we graduated that lovely day in June, and we all walked off that ball field with our diplomas, what happened to you? Give us, for the folks that have no idea what's happened to Mike since we graduated, and we'll talk about school stuff here in a little bit. We'll talk about stories. We got all kinds of pictures, so be ready for that too. But just tell us what's happened. Update the folks what's happened since you graduated to now. Give us what you got.
Yeah, we can start with the party. Did you go to the senior party?
Yeah. Did you guys go? Yeah, we were there. What did we go bowling or what was
bowling and skating?
Bowling and skating.
Skating. Oh.
Yeah, it was up at
choice.
What was it? Ides Bowling and Skating?
Yep.
There at Cornell.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ides.
That's and our booze that we had in the bathroom there got confiscated somehow. Somebody couldn't handle that, so that was about a given. But we had a backup, so I don't know.
Yeah. We
had a backup.
They thought they confiscated. It was just a decoy, and anyhow.
That's right. They took all the empties, right?
Yeah. We thought we were so smart then, young and stupid.
Yeah.
But no, from there I went to Cortland State and played football there, and then from there I went down to East Carolina. I went there and did a 2-year internship. I graduated healthcare administration.
Nice.
And from there I went to Raleigh. I lived in Raleigh. Worked at Rex Hospital.
Oh, all right.
And then I came into contact with a company there that I actually went to, and I worked with hospitals managing their financial operations, their insurance billing and all of that. So actually I cut my teeth leaving Rex, going with a company that moved you to the city where we worked. We were working on site. And I started here in DC, then went to Cleveland, Charleston, South Carolina, and in 91, I moved here to Annapolis and to Baltimore area. Bobby Everett, he lived right up the street from me. I think he actually lived closer to me here in Maryland than he did on Yellow Barn Road.
That's funny.
So yeah, it was good. We had good years there, but yeah, I've been here since 91. I'm a Ravens fan and Orioles fan now, converted from the Yankees.
I won't hold that against you.
But yeah, I know. And you're at Pittsburgh. Yeah, well, you're not far from Cardwell, where he is.
No, I literally fish by his house.
And you guys grew up together, right? In the same part of the
Yeah, same part. Yeah, he was on the other side of the main street, but yeah, same basic ballpark. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But no, I did get a chance. You showed me got the link, got me hooked up, and so
Okay.
I just can't believe how many of these podcasts you've already done.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and seeing all the different, Don Alexander and Pat Mesmer and
Yeah.
just,
Exactly.
all those guys just yeah. And of course Everett was you already got him and
Yep.
Denise, she
Great fun.
yeah,
Great fun.
they're all good, man.
Yeah, so we're just working our way down the list, and we'll see who we can hook up with, and see if we can get a hold of them and do it up.
Yeah, well, I appreciate. I'm honored to be here. This is great.
No, we're
Well, that's
happy
cool.
to have you.
So on your timeline, Mike, tell us a little bit about now. First of all, did you graduate Cortland State?
Yeah, yeah.
And what did you graduate with a degree in?
Healthcare administration. So.
Okay. And then you came to ECU. Now I've got one nephew and two nieces at ECU right now.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm familiar with ECU, and our band plays out in Greenville. And so
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, that's a fun town. And, I left Cortland. Cortland was a blast. It's hard to survive that. I mean, live there. And I got some of my best lifelong friends from Cortland and living close by to Dryden. So the Dryden boys got to meet the Cortland boys. And now it's amazing how that's all worked. And then I went down to East Carolina and they came to visit and they were like, geez, this is like Cortland all over, the
it's
same
like Cortland all over again.
Four
Right.
corners. And it's like I went from the, frying pan into the fire, so to speak. So it was another survival, surviving all that. But that was great. It was good for me to get out of Cortland and kind of change my ways there quite a bit at that point.
Yeah. Now along the way, did you meet your wife, get married?
Yeah. So along the way, when I worked for the company traveling, we met in Cleveland, and then it was a couple months later she got reassigned, and then a couple months later we met in Charleston, South Carolina. So
okay.
That's when Cupid came, and I was 26 years old, didn't see it coming. We got married in 4 years later here in Baltimore, actually, with a friend of mine from Cortland. We had a double wedding, so it was the Dryden Cortland people.
Wow.
Right here, Baltimore City, and it was a blast.
Literally had a double wedding.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it was good.
So
it worked out great. Planning everything. It's my daughter just got married this past summer, like a year ago, Memorial Day weekend down in Nashville.
Okay.
And it's right in the city, and it was in that one. So the weddings back then for us, I mean, we just dealt with the hotel and the catering, and it was pretty much done. Oh my God! Now it's such a business, and they got engaged a year in advance, so it just took so long to plan everything. And it was, but
it's a production nowadays, right?
Unbelievable day, and it was beautiful. And our son-in-law, we love him just like he's our son. So I have my daughter is 27. Owen is my son that's 21, and he's at school in Charleston, South Carolina, at Citadel. So he's at the Citadel, sophomore, and
at the Citadel, nice.
Yeah. So that's living here in Annapolis, been since 91. So yeah, we 33 years, and life is good.
Well, we made a few treks over to Annapolis. We lived in Dover, in Delaware, for many years. We went over to Annapolis a lot. That's where I had my first soft crab sandwich, and I'll never have one again.
Oh yeah, I'm not a big soft crab guy. I don't know. People love them here. I'm like,
I love crab meat, but I expected like a crab meat sandwich, and he comes out with two buns, and these freaking things are sticking out the side like this.
I can't get beyond that either. And it's
no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing
people, when they hear like, oh, you have soft crab, they drop the menus. They don't have to look anymore. That's what they want. It's like they get it every time, and it's amazing to me. And
I went to some place just outside of Baltimore, and they had these giant crab cake balls. They were like the size of softballs.
Yeah.
And it was some of the best crab I'd had ever.
Yeah. I mean, it's not for everyone, but it is, it is truly delicious around here. Everyone loves it, but now it's gotten so expensive, and it's almost, it's really tough but yeah, if you really want it, then you splurge.
Yeah. You got to watch those falling bridges and things, right? Try and get them out.
Good Lord.
Oh, I
Gee,
know, you know, what it's
horrible,
such a
horrible.
tragedy. That's
Oh
amazing.
man,
Yeah, it's,
unbelievable.
you know, and I don't use that bridge that much. It doesn't go my, but you know, the people around there and it's going to be but the cargo coming in and out of there,
Yeah,
it's going to
It's gonna
be,
it's gonna mess things up.
and the amount of the economy that's affected by that, it's just, yeah, it's all coming out in the news now. So,
Yes.
but, you know, we'll figure it out. Baltimore is good people and,
Hmm.
yeah,
tough
they'll figure it
city.
out.
They'll get it. They'll get it.
But yeah, yeah, it's home to us, but you know, I'm not sure. I'm looking to retire in probably 3 years, and then
Uh-huh.
at that point, you know if we
Now,
stay here or move on.
You gonna come down and be with the family in North Carolina?
there you go. Everybody else is.
Everybody
Yeah,
else?
Go.
my
Just
daughter
go,
lives
Mike.
in my daughter lives in St. Petersburg, Florida now. So, and I
Oh,
don't know if we'll stay there, but that's so that you know wherever the kids, grandkids, they're looking to start families sooner than later.
yep,
Yeah, so.
yep.
Yep.
But they say don't chase the kids around because they're going to be moving. But I don't know. Today's world, you can do a lot just remotely here, right?
That's
Right,
right. That's
right.
exactly it.
Now, what did your wife do when you guys met, or what does she still do now?
Well, she was doing the same work that I was doing, you know, working financial operations with hospitals, and we did a lot of insurance billing and follow up, you know, untying all those knots that are, you know,
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense, you know, why, everything that's involved with following healthcare insurance. I'm sure you've had
right,
your
right.
battles with that.
So you're responsible.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah,
He-
I'm the blame. No, yeah,
We know
it's
who to
funny.
call now, right?
Well, it's funny
yeah.
how I look back, but so I work for a company, that it's
What?
nationwide, and you know the amount of people I've met along the way that are, long-term friends, lifelong colleagues. That it's a relationship business. So I was fortunate to find that, and when I was moving around from one place, some of them were nice places. I was in Birmingham, Alabama, Greenville, South Carolina. I really like that.
Yeah,
It was nice, and we were in Greenville, South Carolina before we moved here to Baltimore, and so that wouldn't be a bad place either.
Hmm.
Good quality of life. I don't know, but as soon as people find out, the hotspot, then there's a population explosion. Look at Nashville, what's happened there. It's just amazing
look at
how crowded
Raleigh.
that's become. And Raleigh's another one. When I lived
Raleigh's
there,
another one. Everybody is coming here, and it's infrastructure is usually 5 to 10 years behind, right? So everybody comes down, clogs the roads. All the services are hard to get now. It's like everybody just keeps moving here.
yeah, and yeah, the infrastructure is a key point. When I was at Greenville, North Carolina, East Carolina, there was, they were looking at Charlotte and how that
Yes.
became
Well,
overcrowded, and same thing with Raleigh. So that's the world right now. I don't know.
that's
Everyone's
right.
moving to the hot spots.
Yeah, you may or may not know underneath Greensboro right now, there's a what they call the North Carolina Technology Corridor. It's all along 421, which runs north and south through there. And we got Toyota, Wolfspeed, what's the VinFast is the new Vietnamese car manufacturers. They're doing electric cars down there. Huge factories, huge development going on down there, just south of Greensboro right now.
Hmm.
It's amazing stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, more to come, right? And it just keeps
And
on coming. So
people keep coming. So
yeah.
So if I may ask, Mike, what got you going into the medical admin side of life? What I never in a million years would I thought Mike Motsay is going to go into medical anything.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
brought that up?
At first start, I wanted to be a physical therapist. Craig Kirk's uncle was was a physical therapist, and we moved him down. George Malepe and I, Dana Van Pelt. I don't know if you remember that name, but
Yeah,
he moved him down to Florida, and just saw what he had set up. So it was young, inspiring, and
yeah,
but yeah, I decided to do that. That's where wanted to go to school for. So I got all this biology, and I got a minor in biology. Not that that matters; it doesn't do anything.
wow,
But it's just like,
yeah,
but halfway through, I went to a hospital to volunteer, and I went into a burn unit and having to move people around and all that, and I was like, this ain't for me. I
right,
can't.
right,
I can't do this. And
right.
because he was in sports related injuries and yeah, the glamorous side of it. And he's still in it, and he's done
mhm.
very well and all that. But I'm more of a numbers guy, more finance, more in accounting.
Mhm.
And my grandparents and my mother's side, they owned a fruit stand up in Sayre, Pennsylvania, and
Yeah.
Banana Curve, Sindoni's fruit stand. And anyhow, there's a plug. It's no longer there,
Yeah,
but
I love that.
I would spend my summers there and work there, for a couple weeks at a time as a young kid, working the cashier and learning, weighing things and, coming up with prices, customer service, things of that nature. So I always had that in me. I guess it's a part of my genetics. So yeah, once you found something you love to do, right? You never work a day in your life.
Never
So
work a
it's
day in
that
your
kind
life.
of thing. Believe me,
Yep.
the days are long and the years are short. But oh, hey, I got a little surprise here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Here, this is my wife, Emily.
Hi,
Hello.
Hi,
Emily.
Emily. How you doing?
We got the little babies.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
She's
We
in
got
our-
twins, just like Mike and Marie.
Look
That's
at
right.
them. Look
And
at
what
them.
are their names, Mike, Marie?
This is Ciao Bella
That's
and Coco,
great.
Chanel.
Coco Chanel. Yeah.
Coco
So
Chanel.
hold on a second here. But yeah, they're
There's the show tag right there, Dave.
Yep. Coco Chanel.
Coco Chanel.
Coco
I love it.
Chanel. So Coco
That's
and
great. They're
here's
gorgeous.
Coco and this is Bella. So they want to know what I'm up to.
Gotcha.
Want to
I
know?
want to be involved.
And they're very photogenic.
Come on over here.
I want to know what's going on over here also.
Oh, just a couple
I just
guys
told
chatting
about
and
our
talking.
wedding. I
We're
told
just
about our wedding
yakking.
with Scott and Cheryl. And
Oh,
Hey.
yeah, that was a long time ago.
We were
So-
here.
32 years will be this June.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
So y'all know Mike from high school?
You do.
Better than
one
you.
story. You just give one story.
pictures.
Yeah, just one story, because I know he stole the candy and did all
Oh,
kind of
he-
crazy.
Well, to be fair, Mike's world and my world were completely two different worlds in high school.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
Dave's world and Mike's world kind of coalesced because they were in the same town together. They were in the same.
Yeah, he,
Oh, so you
But if
weren't
you
in
will.
Freeville.
yeah,
Yeah, those two were in
Dave
the same
there.
area.
Dave,
So
the
I
other
want to
Dave.
show you this right here.
Okay, wait, I know which one Mike is because he's gonna have the glasses on. It's probably got-
No, not this
No,
one.
this is even
this one.
before glasses.
Oh, hold on, let me find him. Don't tell me which one he is. Hold on, I thought I saw him. Hold on, let me look
Oh, that's
really.
Mrs. Teeter.
That's
That's,
Mrs. Krevitz.
Oh, yeah, Trevitz. That's who it was.
That's Mike right there.
This would be second grade.
I see Mike. He's got the towel. He's in the back row, second from the left.
There's
Right
Dave.
here. He's up there,
Yeah.
top row, second from the
Yeah,
left.
got a little sweater, little tie.
There's Dave.
And there's me right there, the little blondie guy there.
Oh, look how cute you are.
I'm just special that way.
Jamie Brotherton and I were wrestling in the I don't know, in the classroom, and then I remember she got a little upset with us. Jamie. You
Jamie.
don't want to get hit. Even back then, you didn't want to get him.
Well, Mrs. Trevitz would come around and grab you by the sideburns and
Yeah,
get
that
you
was
back
it.
in line. That was her little thing. And then
Here's
she had
Kirk Daniels.
Was that a Catholic school?
no, this is
Look
the
at it.
Freeville Public School.
Yeah, this is Freeville.
Well,
That's-
and you know what? Not trying to lie, my dad was in education his whole life. And back in his day, that's how they learned, right? Now they have no control at all over these kids.
Well, Mrs. Trevitz had this wooden panel up on the wall that she would threaten with as well.
Yeah, I had a paddling one time
Nope, Madeline.
from the principal
Oh,
of the
was it-
school in Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah,
That wasn't
I took the
recent.
Oh, I
punishment and they
believe you.
called my dad. They're like, you can either get licked with a wooden paddle or we can call your parents. I'm like, no, I'm bending over.
My dad had a
I'm
leather
not
belt.
calling my parents. Yeah, and they got me good.
They
Took
got you
care of
good.
business, didn't they?
He never
Yeah.
never made a mistake or got
I
in
didn't
trouble
do
after
that again.
No,
But
That's
I was
right.
more scared of what my dad would do to me than what they would do to me.
yeah.
Suddenly you
Hey,
figure it
what-
out.
Dave, let's get into some pictures.
All right, what do you want?
Anything.
Oh, hold on.
Random.
Do you want
Random.
we can work our way up to here. I'll do these real quick here. Yeah, here's third grade.
Yeah,
So you can see there's Mikey right there, crossing his
Yeah.
eyes.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah,
I
he's
got,
got the
I got in
glasses
trouble
on.
for that.
Yeah,
They-
I've seen that picture.
People started calling
That's
Oh, my-
hysterical.
called my parents and said, did Mike have eye surgery? And like,
Yeah, Mike had eyes.
Dart.
You
Oh my
corrected
God,
that
yeah.
situation, right?
And I did it, the individual picture as well. I don't know what got into me, but anyhow, that was,
You were such a rebel, Mike. Yeah.
just
Even
class
back
clown.
then.
Even back then.
He really is. I'm going to tell you what, he pushes the law to the limit.
Oh, stop.
No,
Don't put
he
that,
does
if you're
not.
writing
Not
something, don't
Mike.
put that in your paper, but,
I won't
yes.
hear of it.
Right.
Not Mike.
We're gonna edit all this.
Yeah,
up.
don't say that if you're recording, leave that part out, but
Oh, look
Right.
at that picture. There we go.
Yeah,
look at
There
all
we
that
go.
hair.
Look at that hair.
Look at that hair, man.
Look at that bouffant.
Those bouffants, little I don't know is that some sort
Sharon
of
probably did that.
laboratory that we're in here?
That's science class of some sort, right?
Look
Yeah,
at
I was
that.
looking-
You had some sideburns. He's pretty hairy, or it looks pretty hairy right there anyway.
He started early, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was all that football playing.
Yeah, look at that. That's a studious look. That's
There you're contemplating your future right there.
that's no Adderall right there. That's just straight.
No
Straight-
Adderall.
There we go.
His hair was even bigger, I think, here.
Oh no, yeah, look at that. There's Joey.
Yeah, Joey was in here too.
Yeah,
And
Joey's right next
Oh
to you.
my gosh, Joey looks
Everett.
like a mug head.
Yeah,
Wait,
Everett.
that's number 32.
Yeah, Everett, and there's I
Yeah.
don't think
14's Joey, 32's Bobby.
Casey McNeil, that hair. And,
JC McNeil, yeah.
goodness.
Look at Gary Rumsey's angry look.
He got that game face.
Got
Yeah.
that game
Who's
face
number
going on.
60?
that's right. You're staring down the Groton team, right?
Yeah.
Who's
that's
number 60?
Randy Beck, Randy Jackson.
Yeah, who was number? That was Mark Dannyberg, isn't it? Is it 60 Mark
Yeah,
Dannyberg?
Yeah, I don't know all that. Shotgun Flynn.
Yeah.
Oh, that hair just kept
Look at-
getting bigger.
There's Kirk.
Yeah.
Oh, he
The
was
names are
cute.
down here if we wanted to sort through them, but yeah, that was just one of those pictures we looked at. And
Look at you. You look like the man.
Oh, yeah.
I bet he was the shit back then.
Oh, stop.
Are you
Everybody
kidding?
thought he
His
was
neck
anyway.
was
I
right.
didn't know him back then.
his neck was
Really
as
living
wide
through
as his
y'all.
hair.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. His neck was as wide as his hair.
It really was.
That's great.
It really was.
Now let's see here. What else we
got
got?
some more. I sent him a bunch, Mike, so be patient. I sent him a bunch.
All right.
Oh,
so-
God, geez.
oh, well, let's
Yeah,
see.
I don't have the yearbook, so I don't even know what it
Yes, you
says.
do. It's in
That's
the
why we're here.
Now,
Right?
There you go. There's 44.
Oh,
I believe this
Yeah.
is you, Mike, in here.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's,
You're 44.
yeah.
Wait, what year was
Now-
that? Was that?
That was senior year again, right?
Yep, senior year.
Yeah.
Now, we've got some questions here, Mike. I
Yes.
assume this is basketball here.
That was underneath the basketball picture.
It was
Yeah.
underneath the basketball picture. We're like, what the heck is this 41 and a half to 801 and a half or 108 and a half?
108.
And what's this deal down here? How
That
do you get
killed
half
you.
points?
102. Yeah, what's the half? How do
What's
you have
the
a
half,
half
man?
in a score?
No, I don't get any of those. That's weird.
They kept score different up there than they
Yeah,
did in
That- those,
Tennessee.
those aren't even accurate. Those not even, Moravia. We didn't play
You
those.
remember these games individually, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's
Did
I
y'all
don't-
just make those up?
I don't know.
No,
It's in the
no.
yearbook.
God, we should have wrote the yearbook.
I was
They're
gonna
right
say, I've
underneath
never,
this picture.
ever heard of a
Oh,
half
look
a
there.
point. Look at the stud.
Yeah,
there-
there's Joey
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's Barker, Everett
Where's Bob Barker?
right there. There's Cardwell.
Wow, he had a lot of hair
Look
too.
at Cardwell, and then Kirk. There's Canis. There's Joey.
Look at Joey.
Yeah, that
Who's
that
this
was
guy?
that was a great team. That's Chuck Canis.
Okay.
I forgot
That's
that
Kirk
Tim
Canis.
Keegan was on the team.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
I forgot about that. Yeah, look at that.
But we won it all that year. Won the championship, and
I'll
still
go back to
friends with those guys. So
Well, it's probably because all those half points.
Yeah, all those
Yeah.
half points you guys
They're all
got.
the half pointers. They
That-
stuck
that-
together over time.
and that was under the
Oh,
basketball.
pretty much
Yeah.
it.
It was
Yeah.
listed with the basketball in the yearbook. So
Yep.
we're going with that.
Girl, let's go.
Now here's the varsity team. You got Riker, Flynn,
Oh yeah,
Barber, Kirk.
yeah. They all good.
All
we
good
didn't win
guys.
it all for baseball, but we were definitely team to beat, competitive, and
You were competitive.
Riker and Shotgun, they were awesome, and good.
Yep.
Everett was Barber, yeah, he was good hitter, and so back then we all played, a lot of us, played all three sports, and
Now, which brings me to the question: what was your favorite? What was your favorite one to do out of the top three? What did you enjoy?
basketball was the most fun, and
Oh, really? Okay.
the guys, they all get together, we get together and play golf. We do a couple trips a year. And,
Mhm.
they always give me a hard time, because I never passed the ball. I was the gunner on the team, shooter, whatever. And, always say to Everett, I said, Everett, you remember that one time that I passed it to you? And he goes, no. And I go,
No.
yeah, neither do I.
Neither do I.
I don't remember
Neither
it
do
either.
I. That's exactly right.
Passed it to you. No, we rocked it. This is before the 3-point line. So imagine if we had that, but we had 5 guys that averaged double figures, and we'd scored 70 plus points a game, and yeah, it was or more. And we weren't the tallest, but we were quick, and
Yeah.
we were sharp shooters. So
You
we
had the
played
short
against
shorts.
Lace and those guys. They were 2 years older when we were JV. We played with each other for such a long time, so I think that's what caused us to gel.
Right.
Mhm. All right, I got one more yearbook picture, and then you can explain to me what this group does. What does the Key Club do?
Yeah.
You tell me. I don't know.
We had those at my house school also, and I can't tell you what they do.
So you were a member of this club, but you don't know what they did.
Now we raised money.
Joey was over
We were
there
supposed to
also.
raise money for at sporting events, and I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
how that all worked. We got.
They stole candy and sold it. Oh, I was supposed to say that? That's the story you told me. Yeah, I thought everybody
Don't
knew.
steal Mike's thunder.
We'll tell that later. They got to
Yeah.
get to that point.
We gotta get to that. We'll get to
We'll
that.
get to that. We'll get to that.
My bad.
That's all right.
All
So
right.
anyhow,
All right, that's
So the Key Club was to raise money, but that's what Bob Everett said. So you guys both gelled in there. So that's
yeah.
good.
All right, we both had
Yeah.
both had similar stories.
drank the same Kool-Aid.
So here is, let's go back here again. Now, tell me about this here, Mike.
That's right. Where'd you find that? That's pretty cool.
The website at Dryden High School
Yeah,
website.
okay.
Let's,
But yeah, that was a couple years ago, and yeah, it was good. Joey and I got inducted in same time, and I guess they had a couple years off with COVID, and I don't know. So the administration changed, but yeah, this is something they talked about for a while. But anyway, we I guess started it back up, and I don't know where they are with it now, but
what did,
yeah, it was a good honor, and people showed up. Hamilton's, of course, my family, George Malep, people around locally, and Frank Spino, he flew in there. There's mom and dad,
Oh.
Nice.
and Frank Spino flew in to be a part of it, and yeah, because he did a great job. Afterwards, we all went out to dinner, and Frankie and then the whole Spino family, they're another icon too of the group.
Yep. They definitely fall in the legacy family.
Cardwell's, I think, I mean, I look back on
Mhm.
and Dryden, how fortunate we were, all to be together, and things like this, what you're doing now, just another way of all of us, it's
Yeah.
really
Keep it together.
special.
How did you get notified for this? How was this presented to you and your brother? That you guys got nominated? Yeah,
So
how did that work out?
the athletic director, he contacted us, said we've been nominated, and goes through the committee, and from there, then.
So did somebody show up at your door with hey, we've got
Yeah.
an envelope for you?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
how does that work? Did you get
No,
an
it's
email or-
Christina, right?
it,
That
it-
seems
you know
pretty
what?
important.
I know you would sit there and think like, who are you going to thank and all that. No, it was a game. It just brought you back to the gym, during a basketball game, and you see the stands. They're all filled right to, it just brought you back home. That's what we did back then, right?
That must have been great. You get any video of that?
Pardon me?
You have any video of that?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't have any video of it. No, just a couple pictures. My son was there, so it was great to see it. You get to see what the old man was. The older you get, the better you were, right? So you just
That's right.
We we talk about that.
Yeah, 'cause
He got to see it firsthand, so he was real, moved by it all, and it was kind of neat.
He thought that you were played for D1. He was like, Dad, you played for D1 school.
Yeah, right. So no, I mean, I think back then, how cold it would be in the winter times and
Oh
going
man,
from the car to the gym, just
Yeah.
God, it was just crazy. And
Well,
yeah,
think
but
of
that's what
think
we
of the
did in the
football
wintertime.
practices you had in the cold.
Yeah, yeah,
How
yeah.
many football games did you play in the snow?
Yeah, quite, at the end it got miserable. I remember like at the end of the season, like one of the years, it was at the end, last game of the year, like I'm just this is over. It's cold. Your hands are numb and feet are numb. It's and now you look at the fields that they have, all these schools, they're all turf and artificial turf. It's
Mhm.
quite, and some are heated. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. It's almost
where do they get this money? Yeah. So, but yeah, that whole Dryden school, it's been a while since I've been there, but it was a couple years ago, and I
yeah.
saw like what they've done to that side of the school,
Yeah.
all the fields and everything. Wow, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they've done a great job with it. They really have.
You get back there much? Or?
I've still got family up there. Yep. I get up there once in a while.
Yeah, I try to
Where
get up there
y'all live?
about once a year. My folks have my dad passed a few years ago, and then my mom's up in Rochester now. So we
Right.
don't have
Where
a
y'all-
home, don't have a house to go
Right.
to anymore,
It's-
but we try and visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I remember when your father passed, I sent you a note because I remember visiting you. Now, where you were on the next street over, was that Kirby or
Yes,
what was
other side
that?
of other side of the creek, right on
Yeah,
on that first street there was Kirby Road.
Kirby is yeah, and your father there, he had rocket. I mean, you
I
talk
was
about like this ain't rocket science. Well, damn, I met one right there. He was the scientist, wasn't he?
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah, he ran his own company down in Ithaca called Ithaco, and they made parts for satellites. So they had some parts on the Hubble telescope and some parts on miscellaneous, satellites that are still in orbit.
Yeah, I
But
remember going in there. He had that all out there on the table, and I'm like, yeah, he was, part of that, building those.
Well, I was going to ask you that. You said something about talking to my dad, and I was interested in that conversation. If you,
Yeah, well, I remember, visiting your house. We were, back Freeville days and
yeah,
Freeville school and going in there and yeah, just remember him, displaying it or showing it. I remember seeing it and asking it. And he was
okay.
like my one and only rocket scientist that I know.
Well, that's nice. That's a special memory.
No, yeah, that was well, what was that? So we were what, if it was second or third grade, so 69. That was probably 69, right?
Probably right around there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Well, he finally retired from that company. He sold his company in '97, and there was a company out of Connecticut that bought it, and then they ended up selling that company to BF Goodrich Aerospace.
oh wow.
And so they did a couple of sales, and then yeah, he kept a lot of people employed for a lot of years.
Yeah, and I remember your brother there, he was the paper boy, right? He was
Well, it was
yeah,
better than that. So Steve was paperboy for
Steve, yeah.
Steve, my older brother's 5 years. Then there was like a 2 year gap, and then I did it for 4.
Yeah, I remember you doing it too. Yeah.
And then my younger brother did. Now, you have to remind me what their name was. I used to come down your street, give you your paper, and Melanie Bell lived across the street from you.
Yeah.
There was a white house that was just about on the corner, and that little dog, there was like a low flying Dachshund with a giant like Saint Bernard head. And he would come out and he would chase me like every freaking day.
That was Hot Dog and that was the Balls, Ronnie and Randy Ball. Yeah.
Ronnie and Randy Ball, all right.
Wow.
Dog's name was Hot Dog.
The dog was Hot Dog. He bit everybody.
He bit, I'll tell you what, so listen to this. I had a bottle of ammonia, right?
Ooh.
And he would be like chasing my ankles. And I would just be pouring that stuff in his eyes. It didn't slow him down at all. It didn't even phase him. He was like immune to that
Yeah.
every freaking day.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. It's good times. Good times. We had a cat once for about 30 minutes. The cat got loose and Hot Dog
ate it.
and Randy comes driving, riding his bike over with the cat, wrapped around the handlebars. Like, sorry, hot dog got a hold of it. So
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
gosh.
yeah, that was it. 30 minutes. We couldn't even name him. Didn't even get a chance to name the cat.
Never had a chance to name the cat.
That's funny.
That's awful.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we didn't have ammonia there, Dave. We didn't know your secret there.
Yeah.
It didn't slow him down, so it wouldn't much matter.
All
It wouldn't have phased him. All right.
So let's talk school stories now. We got through the pictures. We know about the family now. We know about the dogs. We've met the wife. Let's talk about school stories.
Kirk got me through a lot of classes, trigonometry. I remember that with Stan Hugo. My goodness. It's like writing down, notes and
Mhm.
coming back at night. And of course, everybody's like, you guys aren't studying. Like, yeah, I mean, if you know Kirk, I mean, he was the All-American, athlete, scholar, and
Yeah.
he got it done. And, he even, I was probably his toughest pupil. I mean, he even helped me understand it all. So, but yeah, Stan Hugo, he was a good teacher. I really liked him. He was a good one. And, there was a lot of good ones.
There are a lot of good teachers. Who was your favorite teacher at Dryden? Who would you say?
Oh, teacher.
Who made an impact on you at Dryden?
God, there's few. I mean, Hugo was one, like I just mentioned, and Styles, I always liked him.
Mhm.
He was smart, and I got math. I somehow I understood math, and I think I surprised him. He looked at me like, just thought I was a dumb jock or whatever. But no, that was geometry. That was a tough one. He got me through that. Yeah, like Ron Ventura, he was a hell of a coach. I mean, Coach Smith
Mhm.
he's like Lou Holtz. He was amazing. I mean, we were all really blessed to have him, as a leader in our
Yes.
group. Yeah, so I definitely say he was out there. Trying to think through some of the other ones, but
Yeah, Coach Smith was the one who took Dave down to the bowling alley, right?
That's right. Yeah, he was my bowling instructor. Yes.
oh really?
Yeah.
Um, Steve Trumbull, I think he was good. Yeah, he was biology and early on, but yeah, they were always nice and they were always cool to
Yep.
talk to, and you know
Do you
some
remember,
were.
do you remember when Steve Trumbull would bring in his first turkey of the season? He would bring in his turkey that he shot. He'd
That
bring
morning.
he'd bring his shotgun into the classroom
Yep.
and he'd show it off to all the kids. He's like, "Oh yeah, I went out and I got my turkey today, right?" I was like, "There things that wouldn't fly today, right?"
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He was definitely country, and his father had the farm, and he
Mhm.
got us hooked up, and my brother and I would go out there and take bales of hay and throw it on the wagon, go stack it. I mean, that
Yep.
was quite the workout, and you talk about sweating, but yeah, we did all that. That's the
Mhm.
limit of my farm work. That was about it. But we got out there and roughed it, and yeah, you built relationships with these guys. So it
Yes.
reminded me now of my driver's ed teacher was McLean,
Yep. Dave McLean.
Dave
Dave
McClain.
McLean. Yeah, I couldn't think of his first name. Yeah, he was great.
Who was in your
Cosmo,
who was in your car for driver ed?
that was Dave McLean.
Yeah, who were the kids though?
Yeah. Any other kids?
No, geez, no, I'm not sure. I don't recall that. No,
Oh, you may
I,
not. You may have been a solo guy.
I could have been. Yeah, you know what? No, there was probably somebody else in there,
Was
but
Craig?
yeah, I was doing everything well, but Cosmo Vianney was over it, and I guess I missed some day, and he took me. I never got my what is it, blue card or whatever it was, the nighttime license. He
Mhm.
held it back, and Ventura, McLean, they were all like that's wrong and whatever. So Vianney's not. Yeah, he's he hopes I don't ever have to call 911 for him, but
So
anyway.
he yanked that from you.
Well, no, he did never. I never got it.
Oh, he just said, Mike's not getting one.
Because I missed too many classes or whatever. Yeah, it was
Oh,
I had some conflict that I was like, and I thought I got permission, but apparently didn't. And so, yeah, he was, Yeah, he was not good. But our basketball coach, Walt Dippo, we got a lot of stories. If you get Cardwell on here and Canis and
Mhm.
those guys would talk, he Walt Dippo was a great community. He spoke softly. It was like you almost couldn't hear him, but you developed an ear for him, and you could hear him loud and clear on the court, and amongst all the people there, and God,
Mhm.
big times. But yeah, he was. But Coach Smith, I would have to say, and he passed away a few years ago. But
Yep.
even beyond college, or high school, he was there to help, and
Yep.
some of the stories he would tell, he would remember some of like you asked me about. You remember those scores? Yeah, he was amazing how he could recall what the situation was, and
Mhm.
yeah, he was a blessing to Dryden.
A
So,
lot. Yep. Yep.
but
Now, Dave, do you have Mike's senior picture handy?
oh God,
We got to talk about this, Mike. Come on, man.
oh
You
geez,
brought it up
this is
before. We talked before. You brought it up. I got to bring it up. It's a tough one.
Just a funny-
you bring this up. I'll preface it with, my father. We took the pictures, and you got all the proofs, and you're like looking at them, and like, which one do you like? I don't know. And then it's like, he points out. He goes, I like this one, and it's
There
just
you
the one with the chipped tooth. Look at that. He goes, that just shows a lot of character. I mean,
Shows
come on,
character.
that isn't. You can make that look like a. Look at that. That's ridiculous. I didn't know it was that big. Look at
It can be
Look at
bigger if you want.
that.
Now, how did that happen?
How'd you chip your tooth?
Oh man, that was like I was at my grandparents' house, and my uncle was chasing me around, and I was in socks, and as I was cutting the corner, I fell right down, right, face down into and it was a tile floor, so it didn't give at all.
Boom.
And I could see the chip tooth, the piece sitting right on the floor. Just
How old were you when
yes,
that happened?
I want to say it was sixth grade or something. I'm thinking
So you had that chipped tooth pretty all through school.
yes.
Wow.
Look at that. Who would go, it's
Wow.
GQ. I wasn't, with all that hair. Look at that.
Yeah.
But
You were all GQ.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was, back then, you look at the hair, everybody had big hair back then. So
And remember there was that phase like the junior, senior year when all of a sudden everybody had to start perming their hair. Remember that
oh,
Dave Barber
yeah.
had the big perm,
Yeah.
Randy Polanco had the big perm.
Yeah, they did.
Perms.
Little
Yeah.
tight curls, man.
And that name Big Red that it was on there on the prophecy there was that was one year I went to Myrtle Beach for spring break, and they had the sun in came in. Everyone's like, "Hey, did you put the sun in your hair or bleach it out or whatever?" Well, mine was it turned it McDonald red.
Yeah.
Ronald
Wow.
McDonald red. It was
Your hair turned red in the sunshine.
it came back orange. It was really everyone's like, "What the heck?" I remember. Yeah, so that was bad news, and it took like a couple years to get rid of it. It was like
Wow.
for it to grow out.
That was
So
my brother-in-law's nickname too, was Big Red.
yeah, that's why
Yeah.
that's why they call that. So affectionately, I would always say, yeah.
Let's see. There's a share and there's a push in the screen. There it is. Now this
Oh,
is
yeah.
this is like a who's who of Dryden High School.
There you go. Who's who? Yeah, that was up at the Stonehedges Country Club, and Flynn's do a golf tournament every year, and it's a great cause for cancer and
Uh-huh.
family run. Missy does a great job with it, and the whole family I'm sure is involved. But yeah, it's a great reunion. You're able to see so many folks, and yeah, this one night, yeah, everyone got together and came out. Yeah, there's Cardwell, Cheryl,
Yeah, I was going to say this is Ken Cardwell up here in the yellow shirt.
yeah,
Okay.
Cheryl and Lisa, Denise,
Amy in the back.
That's Sherry Williams there.
And who's this gentleman in the checkered
That's
shirt?
Barker, Bob Barker,
Oh, okay.
Okay, yep.
Amy, Marie,
Lisa
yeah,
Peters.
Lisa Reeves, Everett,
Yep.
Brutus, Kurt, Canis, and then Paige.
Yes.
Great pick. That's a
Yeah,
great
so we all stay together or stay in touch, and it's pretty cool. And You know,
Uh-huh.
and it was always great being with Marie, and her, being a part of, as a twin, we had a couple twins, right? The Edmonds and,
Yep.
Mhm.
Spino sisters,
Yep.
were around. So, but, there were times though playing with in gym class, and
Mhm.
Marie was just, was a good athlete. She was just country strong. She didn't, and didn't know her own strength. But yeah, we were playing soccer, and I don't know, I made a turn or whatever, and we ran into each other and knocked me right down on the ground. And she stood up, and she's over there like trying to help me. Oh, Mikey, I'm sorry. Oh, you all right? I'm like, get away from me. Get away.
You're like,
Your sister
So
runs
yeah,
you.
laid you right out.
laid me out cold. Like, and everyone laughs, and like, and she didn't know. But anyhow, yeah, that's but other than that, it was great. She had her friends, my friends, so it was always good, and mom and dad always welcomed everybody, so it was always easy for everyone to come by the house. Yeah, speaking of mom and dad, that's Joey.
Right. So Joey's here in the orange.
Yeah,
And then who's down in the front in the center?
that's my youngest sister Annie,
Annie. Okay.
and
Yep.
Lisa,
Lisa.
and Marie, and mom
Yep.
and dad.
And mom and dad.
This is in Greensboro. This is one of Joey's 5 world records that he holds.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
talk about that a little bit. You mentioned that this afternoon. So what is he?
it's amazing. He did this years ago. Started out by riding a bike, for raising money, and he did it for 24 hours straight. And so that was one year. And then next year, that's not a Guinness Book of Records. So next year, he's like, I'm going to go for a record. So he did it for a week straight, 170 hours straight of of uh, of riding a stationary bike. And he's a physical trainer, and has his own place, and he's been in Greensboro ever since he moved there in '81. And
Mhm.
so he's been there. So anyhow, he did that. That was the first one. Second one, he jumped rope for like 33 hours straight. Um, and then well, look at this impromptu.
Uh-oh.
What do we got here? But I'll finish, with Joey here. So we did that. He jumped rope for 33 hours straight. In 14 hours, he blew out his calf, his left
Oh.
calf. So he had to like do the rest of it, by,
So
just
he
put his hands
legitimately
in.
didn't take a break. He jumped rope for that long.
Yeah, I need to qualify that because every hour you get 5 minutes
Get
to,
5 minutes or something.
and then look at this. Hey,
There she is.
Oh, no way. Marie,
Hey, Marie.
this is
Oh, yeah.
great.
I crashed your party.
No, it's all planned. It's all good. We love it.
We love it.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
this is so great.
yeah, well, surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
can't do anything without her. She's always got to grab at the steering wheel when we're driving.
Yeah,
She
you
just,
know. Some things, some
He
things
said
never
nothing but great
change. You know.
things.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
We're
Very
doing
good.
good.
How
How
are
are
you?
you, dear?
Doing well. Doing
Oh,
well.
So
Where
nice of you to join us.
where are you guys? Where are you? Like where are you in New York? Where are you?
I'm just north of Pittsburgh.
Dave's in
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'm down
Okay.
in Raleigh.
Okay. All
And
right.
so, we just do this for fun. We hook up with people and, talk to them for a little bit.
Oh, well, thanks for
Marie's down in Myrtle
Mike.
Beach right
Mike
now.
reached out to me and got me on board. So
Oh,
Well,
see?
you're going to get your
See?
own show here in a little bit.
Yeah. But Marie's down in Myrtle Beach right now, spending the summer or winter down there. In the summer, she lives off on Owasco Lake.
Oh, you're a snowbird.
yeah,
Nice.
we're here for about 6 months. We're from October till this
Mhm.
usually the end of April, but this year I'll be here till the end of May because Mike and we have our niece who's getting married. Remember Lisa?
Yeah.
Yep.
Lisa and Phil Yeager. Yeah, their daughter is getting married. So
Nice.
getting married in Myrtle Beach actually. So
Sorry,
yeah.
are you're living in Myrtle Beach right now?
We're living in
Okay.
Myrtle Beach. This is our third winter here in Myrtle Beach, and we're loving it. We're not missing the snow back in New York. It's
So Marie, your brother just told a story about how you laid him out cold during like a gym class or something. Do you
Like a
tell
soccer
him this
game.
whole thing?
You know, I knew I should have come. I knew I should have gotten on sooner, you know. I know his strategy. Yeah.
I was
What
just
other
telling,
stories did he tell you?
I was just telling him about Joey and his Guinness Book of Records. So
Yeah.
but let me finish that because because this is
Yeah.
really special. I mean, it's amazing what he's done. But yeah, the jumping rope, he said that was the toughest thing. If he, yeah, that was amazing. But then he, like the picture you saw, he pushed a car 50 miles for his 50th birthday. Again, all raising money for different causes.
Okay.
And then the next one was punching a bag for 55 hours, speed bag for 55 hours. And I was explaining before Marie got on, every hour you get 5 minutes. So
Yes.
like with the bike, he rode the bike for 24 hours straight and then booked those minutes so he could use that, for breaks, on
Oh,
the
okay.
subsequent hours. So,
Yeah.
so each of those, that's what he did to try and, give himself some time where he can go and eat and, the diet, everything he's done to get through this is, it's like, yeah, you need, and the training that he did before each of these was amazing. That's a feat in and of itself. But then, so yeah, 55, he did the punch a bag, and then just a couple years ago at 60, he did a rowing for 60 hours straight. So yeah, five
Now,
and it's
right.
all videoed and the paperwork and everything you need to do to get, in the book or Guinness Book of Records is another feat in and of itself
So
as well.
5
Yeah.
world records he's got.
Yeah. So he's what you say is
Amazing.
one, how do you think of these things? And then two, it's actually doing it.
How do you
Yeah,
implement it?
before-
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, we were all together on that one picture. I don't know, Marie didn't see it, but the picture of all of us together for the
That was his 50th, right, Mike? When he
yeah.
pushed
yeah.
the car. Yeah. Yeah, we were all there for that, which was really pretty cool.
That's just astounding. Now, did he look in the Guinness Book of Records and say, okay, this is the record I need to beat, and then base his time on that, base his hours on that? Or he just
Yeah, I
looked
think he
like-
looked up each one of those that he broke, he had to identify what the existing record was and
Yeah. And
So-
it was all while raising money for, let's see, Mike, Smile Train.
well, that was one of the first ones, yeah, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, each one was he was raising money for
For a charity of some sort.
certain charities and
yeah,
you know.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's another thing about us as the family got together, and it's great that we could do that. And Annie, our youngest, who said lives up in Maine, Bangor, Maine. So
Mhm.
it's not easy for her at times to get that far, but
Yes.
anyway.
Now I got
Yes.
a couple of pictures now that Marie has come.
Uh-oh.
So here we got
Mhm. Yeah,
Mom and the twins.
that's right.
Now I'm going to go out on a limb and say Mike's on the right and Marie's on the left.
Yeah,
Got
Did I
it.
get that right?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
can
you
see
had a
the chip
50%
tooth over
shot,
here.
Dave.
Yep. Mike
That
had
was-
that chubby, he's got that Gerber. He was the Gerber baby. He just was the cutest little guy. And I guess I was pretty little, and I was not as round as Mike. I think he
Right.
took over while I was
Round
in
as
the
mine.
no
yeah,
offense.
he took over while
There you go.
we were in
There you
mom's
go.
home,
Here everybody's looking pretty
that's one of my
round.
favorite pictures. I just love that picture.
Oh, that is a good picture.
Yeah. And our little velvet outfits.
Eh,
That's
a little
great.
tuft of hair. Everybody's looking rounder. Yep.
Yeah.
So I got to
Really
ask
good.
you guys, how was it growing up as twins? Now, was there constant interaction, or they were like a head button, or did you help each other out, or?
I'm going to speak because I think it's pretty cool. The friends that we had, like Mike and I were pretty social.
Yep.
He had his guy friends. I had my girlfriends. We all kind of, intermixed and, would hang out. And I think I sent one picture, Mike. Did I send you one picture today with a group of us? And it was like with Mike, I had a circle
Yeah.
of girlfriends, and Mike had his,
Yeah.
guy
They showed
friends.
that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can show that again for just a minute if you want. Let's see here
And that was, I think that was pretty special because we all got along so well. We all still keep, I mean, this was just like, I don't know, probably 5 years ago, Mike, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
It wasn't really that long ago. And Mike's really good about keeping in touch with his friends and
Mhm.
and you know, I am as well. All the ones you see there in the picture, I still get together with them, when I'm back home. And actually Cheryl's coming, Cheryl Donnelly, remember Cheryl?
Yes,
Of course.
My cousin Cheryl.
So Cheryl's actually coming down and staying with me. Actually coming up, I should say, because she lives down in Tampa. She's
Mhm.
going to come and stay with me here in Myrtle Beach in May. My husband's going to go back and open up our house on the lake, and
Mhm.
and Cheryl's going to come, and she actually came last year, and so she and I have always been real close since grade school, and along with the other girls that you see in that picture. So, and Mike the same, he's and we all just intermixed and just so that I feel like that doesn't always happen, I don't think.
It does not always happen. No,
No.
no, you guys have gotten wonderfully lucky holding that group together like that.
Yeah,
Wonderful. It's great.
after all these years, it's still we
Mhm.
we still hold them close to us for sure.
Yeah.
I can remember one time, Mike, and I think we've talked about it before and laughed about it, but I used to play softball and Mike played baseball, and in the spring, we'd be out in the front yard. Remember where we lived, right in Freeville? We'd be out in the front yard, and
Yep.
Mike we would get out there and throw the ball around a little bit, warm up, and before you knew it, Mike's throwing it harder, and so then I've got to throw it harder, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
we go back and forth. And one throw, I guess I misjudged my glove, and it went off the tip and hit me right in the face. So
She
that
shook it
was.
off like it was nothing. Like I said, country strong. She doesn't.
I was surprised that it could have been a lot worse than it was, but
Mhm.
we had many of those kind of throw and catch and see who can throw the hardest and kind of thing. Of course,
Did that move over into other areas like you were trying to one up each other,
yeah, that
like in
was one of them.
school or in whatever?
Yeah. We actually, yeah, it was just, like that picture showed, just that's how it was. And for my parents, they allowed everybody to come and
Mhm.
be at the house. It was all good with, even with Joey and his friends and Lisa and her
Yeah.
friends. So in
Yeah.
that little house in Freeville.
Yep,
The house in Freeville.
just across the river.
And I can remember another it's kind of funny is back when the news came that our parents were going to have our sister Annie, who's 15 years younger than Mike and I.
Mhm.
And we were all sitting around a dining room table having dinner like we always did every night. We had dinner together. It didn't matter what we had going on. We all, that
Yeah,
was
that's a good
something
picture.
we made a point we did every night. Well, one night it was kind of quiet at the dinner table, and we were all sitting around, and we're like, oh boy, we're looking at each other like, okay, one of us is in trouble, and I'm not sure which one, but
Yeah.
and
It ended up being Dad.
they shared the news with us, and oh man, we didn't know what to say. Back then you just didn't even talk about
Right.
Right.
that kind
Yep.
of stuff,
Yep.
and you're thinking, your parents really? Come on, are you kidding?
But Annie was
And we
surprised
left the
that
dinner table. Leave the dinner table, and we go back in the back bedroom. All of us kids were still like shocked, can't believe it. Mike's like, okay, nobody is to know about this. You don't say anything to anybody in
Oh
school.
no, he did not.
We're like, we're not telling anybody. What are you kidding me? We're not gonna, because we are. We're like kind of embarrassed, and
It's,
but she was the icing on the cake. And we've always said that, and it's so true. She She truly is. And
we all pretty much raised her, with helping mom out and dad out. And so we always got fond memories of Annie, even now. But yeah, Dave, she's 15 years younger than us.
15 years. So
Mom and dad had us when they were 18 and 21, and then Joey came 13 months later, almost Irish twins there, and then Lisa came 18 months after. So
so quick.
3 years they got 4 kids under 3 years old. So it was
Wow, that is very quick. That's like my kids. My kids are 17 months apart.
yeah. So it was quite a bit.
We figured out what was causing that. We took care of it.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
good.
Oh,
So I want to hear. Mike brought this up when we talked on the phone the other day. Let's hear about the candy caper, Mike.
Oh yeah, you want to go there?
Yeah.
All right.
So,
You want to
candy caper.
you want to ask if you ever got in trouble, and this happened freshman year, and it was right at the end of basketball season, and the Spanish club had some candy bars, and Jeff Lacey, he was the big news, was the
Mhm.
all basketball player on the varsity, and then I think it was 6 of us all together on the JV, whatever, that got nabbed. I got hit for breaking and entering. I was walking to my locker, and I guess I don't know if the statute of limitations is still on there or not, but but anyhow, it was that I don't want to say the names, but anyhow, but they all got
You can do it in
suspended.
the
So,
yearbook. Who cares?
yeah, that's right. So yeah, I can say it because they all
Yeah.
got suspended, but it was me, it was Pualco, Cardwell, Riker. I don't know who else, but
Was it all
Wasn't
the
it-
JV team?
And
yeah, it was
wasn't
all on the JV team. But
wasn't it
another
John
story for-
Deming? John Deming. Wasn't
no,
it John?
he didn't. No, he
Oh.
didn't get it. So anyhow,
Oh, okay.
let me tell the story. All right.
All right. Yeah.
I'm only
Okay.
kidding. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. The so yeah, so they were trying to break into the door, and they were pressing on the door and turning the handle at the same time. So I went to my locker and I came back and they were still hadn't opened. It's like, Motsay, can you push on this? And so I went and pushed on it, and it opened. So there you go. And I walked away. But anyhow, we distributed the candy bars out on the bus, and all that. But I think one of the cheerleaders ratted us out, because otherwise I don't think she would have known that anything was missing. She would have known. But Nancy McClure, now there's another. You mentioned teachers. Yeah, she was another good one. I really liked her. Stole candy bars from her, but I didn't mean to. Anyhow,
You too.
she
Great.
That'll
she
hold up.
she was good. But anyhow, both teams ended up losing. The varsity and the JV both ended up losing against teams that we beat earlier in the year. But my brother Joey, he's like, how many championship games have you already played? Because they brought him up from 8th grade to play on the JV, and I had to sit in the stands. But I got suspended for 3 days, and yeah, it was not a good one. But you talk about the trouble. I was thinking about this earlier, because my senior year, I had a real bad case of senioritis. I mean,
Yep.
especially in the springtime. And Sam Cooper, I was his Ferris Bueller, man. He was looking for me every day. I would sign out and I go play golf at the Dryden Lake. And I remember one time coming up the hole and I was seeing his car leaving. Like he was out chasing me around. And anyhow, yeah, there's a lot more stories, but yeah, we were real fortunate to get away with it. Now raising kids, it's like, do as I say, but don't, not as I
Yeah.
did.
Mhm.
It's, I worry at times, because they say it comes back to you tenfold when through your kids. And but it was different times back then. We were able to do a lot more. I don't know, it just seemed like now it's a lot tougher, and
It is.
it's a lot harsher.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if we all had iPhones back then?
Ooh, yeah.
And document things on YouTube. I mean, we
Yeah.
would just be in so much trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, given all that, no kidding.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
was that now you don't have to, no, you can answer this whether you want to or not. I'm good either way. Was that the worst trouble you got in? Was the suspension for 3 days? I've
Oh
always
yeah,
in high school. Was that the worst?
yeah, definitely. That set it up straight. That was
Yeah.
So
let's say it slowed me down. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that was the big talk for quite a while. That was huge.
It's still like, it still comes up every now and then. So,
now there
yeah.
must be at least one or two funny stories of incidents that occurred that didn't make the paper. Have you got any of those kinds of stories?
Funny stories. Jeez.
Somebody told us a story. There was a
Pranks.
bunch of cheerleaders. I think a lot of those people in that one picture there took a boat out on Cuba Lake. I think that was with Denise and some others there. That was like
recent?
they stole somebody's boat and they took it out on Cayuga Lake.
Oh, wow.
You'll have to watch your episode.
Yeah, I don't know
Marie's
about
drawing a
that.
total blank.
You're what?
Marie's drawing a total blank.
Yeah, look at it. Yeah, she wasn't her.
No.
Geez, I think about what is it, Bald Eagle up there off the Yellow Barn Road. We were up there,
Old Baldy.
Baldy.
Old
in Old
Baldy.
Baldy,
Yeah.
yeah.
Up
Old
behind
Baldy.
Amber's house.
Yeah.
Geez, I remember all sitting around. I remember drinking beer and
Mhm.
we're sharing a beer and and I was there drinking it like I was I don't know, I was probably 14 or something. I don't know. That was seventh grade. Yeah, I think it was. And Sue Nickum. Remember that? There's a name.
There's a name.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, well, don't hog it all, Motsay. And I'm like, geez, all right, yeah, sorry. And anyway, so I remember that I got in trouble there for that. But yeah, we did some things. You mentioned we were talking about school and our senior trip and going down to Florida.
Yeah.
Kirk, Everett, and myself, we drove separately. And I worked at Clark's. I don't know if they were working there then or not, but yeah, I was working. But we ended up buying cases of beer, Pabst Blue Ribbon, for $5 a case. That's how cheap that is. It was then. Oh, yeah, PBR, and we bought like 15, 20 cases of it, and we rode down in Kirk's parents' van. They had a bed in the back. It was one of those customized vans. It was all, and like I said earlier, we had moved Dana Van Pelt down there. It's already been down to Florida once and already driven down there. So my parents let me go, but Marie had to ride. But you guys probably did a better, made out better. But we were down there, and then we got the hotel room with everybody and stayed there. But then we got all the beer, we put it in a bathtub, and and of course everybody was, everyone knew about it, but Buddy Lang and Joe Vladnelli, they wanted to buy some of the beer from us. So we went out to give them, like we're doing a drug deal or something. It's like they came out and we gave them the beer, but they said, when I was out here earlier, it looked like you had more beer than there must be some beer brewing somewhere. Anyhow, so they came and checked on us later, and they were fine. But that was a fun time, relating to the teachers, the chaperones. They were, it was Buddy Lang, and I don't know who else was there. Joe Vladnelli.
Who's the real tall guy with the kind of the beard, the mustache, and the slight beard? Real tall guy, had a bald spot.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about. Altieri. What was
Loria.
Loria.
Pete Loria. Yeah.
He passed away. Didn't he pass away?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyhow, yeah. So that was a fun one. Being able to catch up with you all down there, and Randy Jackson and Randy Beck, Nelson Jeffrey. They were a hoot. And
fun. We have a really great class. I'll tell you.
I would agree.
I hope next year we can plan our reunion and make it happen. We didn't have our 40th because of COVID.
Right.
So hopefully next year we can
do a 45.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys ever do the senior lounge thing at Dryden, the hanging out by the Lion?
Oh, I've got plenty of stories of that.
Yeah, my senior year, I had the first period and fifth period. I had study hall, so it was like the fifth period was like an hour and a half, and in the first period, I could arrive late because I was a senior, but I think everybody else had to. But I remember hanging out there. There was like, I think Cheryl was there and Kevin Smith. I don't know if you remember that guy. He was. Just always there hanging out and just being able to lounge right there as soon as you walk in. It was like, yeah, this is,
And there was that table underneath the stairs down in the C wing that to go up to the top of the C wing. There's that one table that used to sit down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And your buddy, Mr. Vice Principal there,
Sam
bumped
Cooper.
me, didn't bust me. He called my mom, and Dave's heard the story before, so I apologize, Dave. Called my mom and said, "Just so you know, your son David is sleeping with Jill Hollister."
What?
So I get home, and my mom she's livid. She goes, "Why did Sam Cooper call and say you were sleeping with Jill Hollister?" I said, "We both had our heads down on the table and we're sound asleep because we have no periods between 1 through 4.
Oh, and he was trying to be funny,
He was trying to be funny.
sleeping with her.
Yeah, I was sleeping with Jill Hollister. What a jerk.
He always thought himself was funny like that. You know, he was kind of, there was a, I don't know. It's I
He
don't
liked
know.
to poke you. He liked to poke you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
be your buddy, but at the same time, he was always on my thing. He was I mean, I was his Ferris Bueller. He wanted me so bad.
That's a great analogy. I love that.
It was like constantly, where's Motsay? And
Yeah.
but
Oh, boy.
Okay,
See, and I must have been the golden child because I don't remember any of those kind of incidents.
you
In
were
trouble
the
at all,
key.
Marie?
I do remember one though, actually, and it was Mr. Cooper. Us girls were at Brenda Murray. Remember where Brenda Murray lived
Yeah.
on Lewis Street?
Yeah.
Yeah. So back then, you could ride your bike to school and and I remember riding my bike to school that day because we had it all planned that us girls were going to go. It was a spring day, again, springtime. It's like,
Yeah.
you're and we were seniors and we skipped study hall and we rode our bikes to Brenda Murray's house and we were laying out in the sun on her roof, up on her roof. And here comes Mr. Cooper.
So you're on the roof, sun yourself, it's spring, and along comes Sam Cooper.
Yeah. He nailed every one of us. So we got detention, or I think it was a couple nights detention or something we got, but
that wasn't during spring break. That was just during another time.
no, that was during school.
Oh.
We cut like a study hall or
Which roof were you on?
but it was, we got somehow we, were excused early. Somehow we were able to get out. Who knows? I can't remember, but yeah, we all had a plan. That's what we were going to do that day.
Which roof were you on?
It was on Brenda Murray, where she lived on Lewis.
Oh, okay. I was thinking school roof.
No. It was on her roof, on Lewis Street. So there we are. There was no hiding from that. Oh, well,
Now, Mike, how many classes did you skip?
God, in the spring, these afternoon ones were tough, but I'm trying to think of who the history teacher was. This lady, she was Margaret Grace. I just pulled that out of mine.
Wow, nice.
Is that her name? That's her name, right?
It sounds familiar.
I don't remember.
She was really cool. She was like my last class of the day. We had a lot of people. Like Cardwell's in there. I think Everett, Dave Barber. Yeah, there was
The whole cast of characters.
there was a cast of characters and she allowed. So I was able to get out of that. But I would sign out to go to the nurse and just sign out, like leave and be able to take off. So yeah, that's.
Now, how many of the other guys went with you?
I would vary. Riker was my partner in crime for a lot of stuff back, at that point. And yeah, so
That fits.
There's a smile there.
that was good. Yeah. He's probably hating me now. He's saying, "Oh, Motsay, you had to throw me under the bus." But now, yeah, we survived, right? It's like
We did survive.
sprinting through the finish line, those tough days. But yeah,
But when you think about it, it wasn't anything real bad.
No.
Not in comparison to what
we had to do for the candy bar thing. We had to do some community service too for the school.
What'd you do?
Which was we were all fighting. Walco was just like he wanted to mow the lawn, and I was like, no, I want to mow. So we would mow the lawn, and, go out there with the tractor, and then we'd have to groom the baseball field, and there's like a screen go behind, and you do the infield and all. So it was like, so we're out there doing community service while everybody's in there in class. They're looking out like, that looks like punishment, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you guys were using the field later, right? So it was
yeah, yeah. So it was like, it was just goofy, like, the stuff we would, now thinking back on it, we got away with that. Now it's unheard of. It's, yeah. So,
Did Marie or Mike, did you guys ever being obviously very familiar with each other's lives in high school, did you ever narc on him or did you ever narc on her? Did you ever go home, Marie, and say, you know what Mike did today, Mom? Or Mike, did you ever go, did you hear what Marie did today, Mom? Or Dad? Did you guys
yeah,
ever like,
yeah,
you guys ever spill on each other at all?
I
yeah.
don't really think we ever really did.
No, I mean, at
I
6 o'clock was the dinner time, and like Marie was saying earlier, it's like, yeah, we were there every night, and
Right.
you had to be there, or you had to have a good reason why you weren't, and so yeah, there was time to get around, and yeah, it's we could go back and
Yeah.
tell some of those stories, but when Mom and Dad were moving out of the house, uh, like I said last fall, we were all coming together, and Marie was a big part of helping them move, and we were all planning to have a big get together with all the friends and everything. He said, no, they're so far behind and moving. We need a work weekend. So we ended up doing that, and it was great. And that night we all got around the table like we did way back when, and we just
Oh, that's nice.
it was just all of us there, telling, swapping stories, and
Mhm.
and Joey, he's hilarious. I mean, he should have been an actor. The guy, he's
Yeah.
unbelievable. But it's just funny how we just took that time up till all hours at night, staying up late and just
Yeah.
telling stories.
It was
Just
awesome.
so yeah. I don't think there was any. We were thick as thieves at the time. We had each other's back.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
probably
we're
protected each
we're
other.
pretty loyal to each other, and it wasn't like we really ever did anything that bad. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you go to Old Baldy and
Mhm.
back then we drank a little bit or whatever, and
You
Yeah.
go
I
to the
guess
North
that's the
40?
worst of what we did, but
Yeah.
we never really we didn't rat on each other because
North 40 though, yeah, that was a staple there for our, like last part of high school, but then post high school,
Yep.
it was there. I mean, what a place, right? That's that's Saturday Night Fever right there in itself, right?
That was exactly it.
And
You had your
and
leisure,
we
right?
we would leave there. It was Thursday night, $5 all you can drink kind of thing. Like what? That's unheard of too. What the heck is
Yeah.
that? Of course, they
Really?
were watered down, but we would race from Ithaca, get to Cortland to get last call there, for
Ah,
stupid
Yeah,
reasons.
it's kind of
Remember the
scary to think
shotgun?
back some of the things, that, and then we think if our kids lived through, were living that like we did, we would be, oh my
Yep.
God, I
Yep.
can't imagine them out traipsing around and I mean, they did, but it was different back then.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
drinking age was younger. It was 18, yeah. And
Our parents
at
always
16,
overlooked.
17.
Yeah, and
Pardon
our
me?
parents are always watched out for each other. The whole community of parents, like Mrs. Edmonds and Mrs. Fitzgibbons, Mrs. Bowker, Mrs.
Yeah.
McCartney, were all my alternate
Yeah.
moms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
It's
that, it was that way,
Yeah, we
so
put
close
hide and
knit.
seek on entire blocks using everybody's property. It was,
Yeah.
we could just do it back then.
All the
Yeah.
moms knew all the moms.
Yes.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
I remember at Cotterill, well, it was Pat Cotterill and Pat Mesmer and at their place, and somehow, there's no cell phones back then, but somehow I got the call, hey, it's for you, and I get on there and it's my mother, and it's like, what are you doing, Mikey? I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, we're here at a party. Well, was there drinking going on? And I look around and all these cases of beer were all empty bottles all sitting in there. I'm like, well, not anymore, they're all empty. But I wasn't lying,
Finish
but
that.
and anyhow, yeah, it's like, my mother being, cutting hair. I don't know. She always knew where the parties were before we did somehow. She was tapped in somehow. It seemed like,
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
that's
how did you know about
we
that?
didn't
How'd
get
you
away
know?
with much.
Yeah.
because your
she,
mom ran that hairdresser shop out of the basement, didn't she?
Yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
she was in the know. It was tough to get anything past her.
I'd
Yeah.
forgotten about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and it's crazy times.
Mhm.
There was another thing that I was thinking of too that we would do. We'd have Thursday night ski club, and we'd have Friday basketball. And I know the Walt Dippo, I was thinking that when I mentioned that earlier about him being great, but he always was like, "You're gonna go skiing tonight? You got a game tomorrow?" Like he was afraid we are gonna go out there and break a leg. But
Mhm.
that was another, full throttle type thing that we all, you couldn't miss Thursday night.
No, that was a ball. Absolute
Yeah.
ball.
And was like, geez, we got to do it,
Yeah.
whether, and we would ski, fast and hard and do it because we didn't know any other way. But, and, and then of course being up late that night and then you had school the next day. I don't know, but,
That's how, even though we really didn't get home that late, it felt like we always got home real late, but it really wasn't
Yeah.
that late.
Right.
Well, it was like 9:30-ish.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because Greek Peak closed around 9, I think.
Yeah, but
Oh, did it?
we left right from school, and that was a long,
Anyhow, yeah.
long day, long evening by the
We had
time
the
we got
best time
back,
ever.
and it always seemed like it was later than it
But,
really was.
but everybody went. There was always like a group
Yeah.
of the Dryden. I don't know if there was another school, Ithaca or Lansing.
Yeah,
or something.
there was an Ithaca school that went up, ski club that went up, and I remember Kent and Bob Everett skiing. I'm not sure I remember you guys skiing.
I don't remember you two skiing.
Yeah,
We were
but
in the
we'd
ski
have
club.
practice, but we'd get up there late.
Okay. Oh,
and,
maybe that was it. You didn't ride the bus up.
No, we'd have to
Huh?
drive up, and I'm not sure Everett was a skier. That'd be
Say that again.
yeah, Everett was a skier. I didn't know that, but yeah, because he
I'm pretty,
had
yeah.
some weak joints.
'Cause we actually went up and they had that power line cut beside their house up on top of Yellow Barn.
Yeah.
And me and Steve Egger, Harold Bean, Artie Shaw, and a couple other guys went up there and would ski that thing. We would
Oh,
build
wow.
a jump halfway down. I wish I had that video.
Oh, you guys were nuts. You named a bunch of guys there were acrobats, right? They're
Yeah.
they're crazy. That's
Well, those guys were all in gymnastics too, and it wasn't
Right.
uncommon for them to go upside down on their skis. We would jump up at Everett's, and I was never an acrobat as such, but those guys were.
yeah. What's that crazy group with Johnny?
Mhm.
What's what I'm talking about? The guys that do all the crazy stunts.
Well, there was John. I want to say who's Tiddick? Ron Tiddick, right? No.
Bobby,
Bobby, Ronnie.
Bobby Tiddick.
Yeah, but I know
Ronnie.
you're talking. I
He
mean,
was older.
you're talking about the tumbling groups professionally.
No, I'm talking about on TV. Who is it?
Yeah.
Johnny. What is he? He's a wild man.
Oh, I can't remember, but
I don't know.
I got it.
But those guys were all nuts because they were divers on the swim team. Artie
Yeah.
Shaw and Mark Vidal and those guys. And I'm friends with some of those guys on Facebook. And Mark Vidal still skis. He's out in California.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, whenever you can get out and around.
Yeah, those. But it was cold. It was bitter, and people down south are like, "How could you stand it?" But that's what we did, and
And we loved it.
yeah.
Mhm.
You grew
But
up with
I
it
don't-
too, right?
But I don't miss it now. I don't.
No.
I don't.
No.
My
Agreed,
blood has
Mike, now.
thinned. I'll tell you that.
And we're just south of the snow belt, so we get a lot of rain,
Mhm.
but we've gotten our share of snow over the years. But it's
Yeah.
But lately, I haven't used a snowblower in a long time, so it's
Right.
and I'm not complaining. But
No.
it wasn't just last week. A bunch of snow came up through that part of the country, and up in Maine. I mean, it's too late in the year to be dealing with that.
Doing that.
Couple
We
feet
had
of snow.
we had snow last week.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Are you close to where Kent lives?
I'm very close to where Kent lives. And I
Yeah.
didn't know that until like a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm gonna
Cool.
nab him
Yeah.
because he works out at the
He's-
airport. I'm at the
He
airport.
is he is still a trip, that guy. Talk about he belongs on stage. Him and Kurt together are hilarious. Kurt Canis.
Yeah.
Those two are, oh man, they could have you just
Rolling. Yeah.
rolling.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
get him on.
They're
Yeah,
great.
yeah. That's one to get, both of them together. And
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a combo.
yeah, they are. They're
They're
and still
Great.
together and doing well and you know, a lot of folks are doing well. You know, on Facebook, you're able to keep up with a lot of folks.
Yeah.
You know, one guy, Joe Babcock,
Mhm.
he's
Oh,
down
yeah.
in Ocean City, New Jersey,
Usually.
and I have a client down there or and colleagues that, and I told him about the restaurant that Joe has. I've never been, but
Mhm.
called Luigi's, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, it's open summertime." I'm like, well, yeah, you go in there and you know Joe Babcock. At any rate, so
Yeah.
long after that, several months later, I get a picture sent to me with you know this guy with Joe, you know,
That's awesome.
hanging out together. So you know,
That's
small
so
world,
cool.
and
Yeah.
but yeah, I hear it's a great restaurant there, and
Mm.
it's not open, you know, all year round.
Hmm.
And it's now back open. I think just past week or so. But I saw Joe at a reunion a few years ago when it was out there by Greek Peak,
Yeah.
the one year,
Yes.
and yeah, he's great. Met his wife, and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
great. Then met Nancy Brashear, and her husband. You remember him, Maria?
Yeah.
Like
Big,
6'10".
tall,
Rick,
big, tall
yeah,
guy.
Rick Davis. I still stay in touch with him
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's retired now, cop, but yeah, Nancy Bashir, that's an old name.
He lives
She
up.
went out there at the Lion first period. I remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nancy lives just about an hour north of Raleigh now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
I've been inviting her to some of our gigs, but we have not connected yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They yeah, that's a good love story that they have. You know, talking with them
Hmm.
you know, yeah, there you go. Another one. They're close by
Yep.
Yeah.
and I'm
I
sure someday you will see them.
I ran into Dave Barber's daughter. This was completely accidental. It's probably been 8 years now. I was at a random Starbucks just down south of my house, and I don't know how the conversation started with the barista, but she goes, "Yeah, I'm from upstate New York." I'm like, "Oh, I'm from upstate New York." And so we started whittling it down. She goes, "I'm from Dryden." Or no, she said, "My dad's from Dryden." And I'm like, "Really? What's your dad's name?" She goes, "Dave Barber." And I'm like, "No way." So I immediately said, "Okay, how long was your shift?" She said, "I got about 2 hours." I ran back to the house, got the yearbook, and of course it was Dave Barber with the
With the pro.
with a fro with his hair out to here. I said, "Is this your dad?" She goes, "That's my dad." I'm like,
Oh.
what are the odds? She
That's
goes,
great.
why do you have hair like that? I said, it was a thing back then. I don't know what to tell
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
came out to the Hall of Fame thing that we had, him and his wife Denise, and it was great, you know, seeing them. And yeah, we hung out quite a bit they're during those days, Louis, and it's like
Louis,
still
that's right, Louis. That's great. Where'd that
yeah.
come from, by the way?
His
Where'd the
father,
Louis thing?
his father was named Louis. And
Oh,
so and they were great. His parents were great people, and yeah, the whole family there, McLean, and
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah,
I can tell you a little story about Dave Barber. So Dave Barber's mom and my mom shared the maternity room. We were both born on the same day
oh wow.
over in
Wow.
Cortland. So that was just one of those little funny things that you came through school. You know, we were both born the same day. Mom shared the rooms. And it was like
Wow. That's
tidbits, right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he was into
Comes
music
from a
there
good
for a
family.
while.
Yep.
And,
Well, that always surprised me that he was a singer.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so, you know, he and Toby and those guys were always putting bands together. Pat Mesmer was in that band for a little while,
mhm.
and
yeah.
Pat played guitar, and so
I got a glimpse of his you talk about Facebook. I see him out there. He's like selling, he's a writer. It's amazing like what he's done. But
it
you know, I
is.
was out there with him for a while, you know, it was always great and just but listening to his voice and yeah, this is great what you guys are doing and
Yep.
really appreciate it because it brings you back and thinking
Yeah.
about all the stuff and yeah, he was always, you know, cool. And his father was and my father were worked together, so they knew each other. A lot of respect there. And
And what did your dad do? Tell me
he
again.
worked at Morse Chain,
Okay.
and he was superintendent of the building. He was the quality control, and yeah, he was there 40 plus years, and you know, retired from there. And
Which building was he in?
he was the one up on the hill there for for the longest part of the time. And then
Mhm.
you know when they moved out to the what is it, Hanshaw?
Yeah.
There were, I think he,
Well,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think he was over both, but he was mostly at the one on the hill.
So I co-opt up on the hill at Borg Warner Electronics in
Oh,
their air conditioning thing. So when I was going to TC3, that summer between first and second year, I was up there on the hill working there. And Wayne is still working. Wayne Dunham is still working at the one out by the airport.
Yeah,
oh, no
Warren,
kidding.
Yeah, so he's been there, what do you say, 25 years?
I think he said
No,
20, yeah,
it was in the
27,
it was in the
somewhere in that
20s.
ballpark. Yeah, in the
Yeah, so
20s.
he's looking to retire in the next year or so.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
I see him out there on Facebook too.
Yeah.
Every now and then
Yeah.
he posts something and or he
Mhm.
shows up at some of the what the meetings when everyone gets together, I guess
Yeah.
Yeah,
every
he's
now and
always at
then.
the Breakfast Club. Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
what it is? Yeah,
I, I think
Robin
that's,
comes into town
yeah,
and
when Robin comes in, and I think that's awesome that
yeah,
they
that's
do
great.
that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
then she comes into town, everyone seems to, to
Mhm.
gather, and it's just, it's wonderful. It's
Yeah, it's
great to
cool that
see
you can do
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going to steer this back just a little bit towards your interview, Mike. So one of the questions we often asks is, what advice, now that you're 40 years out of high school and out of Dryden, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self back in Dryden?
Oh, my own self.
Yeah. What would you tell yourself 40 years later
Yeah.
or backwards?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'd say being humble it would be, for a lot of people they would say that would be a stretch, but that'd be the advice. As you get older,
Yep.
yeah, as I said earlier, the older you get, the better you were, right? You tell your stories and all, but no, I look back on favorably and but if I don't have any regrets, but we would come into town and geez, playing ball, we were, you know, now they get, flagrant, yeah, flagrant. I didn't even know what that meant, but we played hard ball out there and I was cocky, I guess, and that
Mhm.
but we went into Watkins Glen and then you see the signs up on the wall there where it says Motsay brothers suck, so it's like,
Really?
wow, there you go. That's
Wow.
a statement. But we would get a rush out of that. It's like, yeah, we do. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
play our hearts out. And geez, this is another story of basketball but yeah, I got I didn't say I got in trouble, but I remember coach sitting me down. It's like I did a flagrant foul at the end of one of the games. It was the first game of the year. We were ranked 14th in the state.
Mhm.
We were going out and we ended up losing the first game of the season. But here the end of the game, this guy, they're throwing it back and forth. I'm running back and forth trying to get, but the guy puts the ball out to the side of his hip, just standing there all cocky, and I just full head of steam. I was still playing football. I hit him hard and I knocked him into the second, third row of the stands where it was bad. It's really bad. So in terms of like what would I do over, I wouldn't do that again. All right. I wouldn't do that again. That's just bad sportsmanship. And but the guys when we talk about it, it's like, yeah, they just laugh because they had to see. I only saw
Mhm.
that hit, and then I went and sat down on the bench because I knew I was someone out. But there was only like 14 seconds left of the game, whatever. But the guy, he didn't have to put the ball out there. That should have been a foul. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't want to have a flashback, but yeah, that I got in trouble with that. Coach Smith sat me down. He says, "Hey, they came back and that's a flagrant foul," and I didn't even know what it meant. What's that mean? Was that good or bad? Oh, if I didn't know it was bad.
Mhm.
That you can't do that again or you'll be suspended from whatever. And it's just like, okay, I got it loud and clear. And
Yeah.
but yeah, we would that wasn't Watkins Glen either. That was Newark Valley, but Watkins Glen was yeah, they didn't like us at all. And
Well, see, I thought Groton was the big adversary.
yeah, we didn't play them that much, but they were on football. They were rivals back, especially back in the day when we were younger, the varsity teams. But when we played them, yeah, when Brian's year, he was a junior, Marie's husband, Brian, they were the powerhouse. Yeah, they rolled over us pretty pretty rough. And Dean Winters, he was, he took a beating that game, but he was our guy that, he was one tough athlete. I can tell you that was, but we were that way with a lot of the upperclassmen, Jeff Lacey and John Denning, Steve Pertell, and
Yep.
they were all friends of ours. We were tight with them as well, even though they were a couple years older. Dean Winters and Ed Couch.
Tim Vince like.
Yeah, Tim Van, he was great. He was a hell of a baseball player.
Yep.
But, we were all tight, even though they were a couple years old. There was,
Right.
we looked up to them. In
Mhm.
some ways, they were probably a bad influence for us, but
Mhm.
we persevered. Yeah, we followed their footsteps, and we played rough there with some games. But yeah, right, that was a long-winded answer. You got me off on a story. I wasn't sure I was going to go there, but anyhow, I would.
You
I
brought
would
that
tell
tug, you
myself.
brought that tugboat in nicely. Very nice.
Yes.
Anyhow,
Wrap
that's
that around there.
enough about me. Enough about me.
Well, you're good.
Oh,
Well, do you have anything for us you want to ask in our remaining time? Dave, am I missing out any questions? If we covered up all our bases?
I think we've covered all our bases. Yeah.
Yeah, if you got any questions for us, you want to ask us, I know we got both of you guys on. Is there anything you want to ask us? Fire away.
I mean, what are you guys up to next? I mean, what's where do you see this going, or what's your favorite memory of Dryden? What you got a favorite one you can share with us, or with
Go ahead,
the
Dave, you
group?
start.
Oh my gosh. Well, most of my Dryden memories, first of all, I look at Dryden very fondly. I think it was a very tight-knit school. I think generally everybody got along. Everybody kept track of everybody. But, we got into a lot of trouble. I got into a lot of trouble all the way through high school in terms of like detentions, screwing around in class all the time. And, a lot of the activities that I did, I was in band, chorus, and then I skied. And so a lot of the stories circle around Greek Peak, skiing up there, we used to ski in the woods all the time,
Yeah,
getting our
I like
passes punched. We had seasons, Roger Dick and I and some of the Don Alexander, we all had seasons passes like junior and senior year. And so we were forever getting them punched and pulled and stuff like that, for screwing
Yeah,
around.
you weren't supposed to go down in the woods, right? Yeah,
Yeah, skiing in the woods is bad. And so there was
we
a lot
did
of
that
that.
too.
You did it,
Pardon?
which means you had to do it.
Well, yeah, we generally did that, and then a lot of my stories focus around Mrs. Lieberman's biology class. We got in trouble there all the time. I had uncounted detentions, and just all year long
Wow.
for
Good
screwing
one.
around in there. And
Mm.
so there are a lot of fun memories about that. A lot of the band things, we travel to other schools and have band concerts and stuff like that. And so you got you out of class and whatnot. We had a good time with that.
Mm.
And I really enjoyed high school. I was kind of like I kind of like stayed even keeled between the band folks and the athletic guys. I ran a little track, but all my biggest memories, really my fondest memories, other than the Greek Peak stuff and just the group of Dave and Steve Plord and Jeff Mark, all the guys I hung around with, and the gals I hung around with, Annette and Lori Munson and whatnot. But probably one of my best memories is meeting my wife, is meeting Blanche. So
Oh,
I mean, I've known Blanche since 5th grade.
Hmm.
My wife since 5th grade. So, and she graduated a year before we did. But some of my best memory, I learned how to ski. She taught me how to ski. It wasn't Dave Seymour who taught me how to ski. He'd have got me killed.
Come on.
yeah.
Yeah. My wife taught me how to ski, and I had kind of a rough upbringing, so I kind of did a lot of rescuing her from her house, and yeah. So a lot of my memories are girl based.
That's
Some of it with
great.
Dave's sister, some with my wife.
Mhm.
So yeah,
What did you say about my sister?
memories with your sister.
No, it's like-
No,
I thought there was a slip of the lip in there somewhere.
no, there wasn't. No,
All right.
no. It was all put there intentionally, Dave.
All
But
right.
No, I mean, I had a great time in school. I didn't hang around the same group that you guys did, but I grew up with the Edmonds twins.
Yeah.
Charlie and I are my oldest friends.
Mhm.
And then once we got like seventh, eighth grade, the clique started to separate a little bit. And they went their separate ways, but I'm still great friends with them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Fitzgibbons is Joey and Johnny and Mike and all the gang, and hung out with all them. And back in the main block there in Dryden with I grew up with Doug McCartney
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, there's another one.
before he was Doug McCartney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a sports thing, Dave. Yeah.
All right.
Once he got into sports, Doug became a little bit more Doug McCartney than he was when he was a kid.
I
So,
see. Okay.
yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I stay below the radar. I don't think I ever got in trouble. I don't think I did. Even on my senior trip, I got so sunburned in the first 2 days, I couldn't do anything on my senior trip. I was literally soaking in the pool the whole time.
Oh.
Like day
Yeah.
2, I was in the pool because I was just burned to a crisp as a volleyball.
Mm.
Yeah, that'll ruin it for you. And that sun down there too will get you. Rick Page won one year. He got blistered with us, and
Mm.
yeah, he was in bed for a couple days straight trying to
I was a
recover
mess.
from it. Yeah, that.
Totally ruined my trip.
Yeah.
But I got something I could probably share with you all that you may not know. But it's like it'll be 3 years in June. It'll be 3 years. I had quadruple bypass surgery.
Oh,
And I was 99+% blockage in the Widowmaker and the other ones. And I had mild symptoms, so blood work was fine. It was calcium that was blocking everything, and that's kind of was recent at the time that they found this out, and it's getting a CAT scan with a calcium score is how it was discovered. And from there, I went through the series of tests and did the cardiac cath, and really didn't think anything of it. The doctors weren't even thinking of it because my symptoms weren't that extreme, but
Right.
it was that much blocked. And
Wow.
they had the cardiac cath, and I could see it in between the heartbeat, how it was blacking out, and I was like, wow. And so they admitted me immediately, and I had surgery the next day and came home 8 days later. But to everyone out there, it's in my family history, of heart issues, but the blood work was coming back fine, so they weren't thinking of it. But now calcium's the killer there, and so there's a plug I can make or a message to get out to whoever watches this that if you got I had a slight symptom, but some little tightness, but I went through a series of tests, pulmonologist, ear, nose, and throat, gastro. They thought I had a esophageal spasm, treated with Nexium, and
Right.
but that wasn't it. But and I still had the symptoms. So just because they can't find anything wrong, it doesn't mean there isn't something wrong with you. And but anyway, I'm knock on wood, I was real lucky, and
So lucky.
but I was, I was a heart attack in the making, but a widowmaker heart attack where and with the calcium that hard and whatever, they wouldn't have been able to put a stent in me. And so good as new. And they said my heart is good because I didn't have a heart attack. The muscle is good, and I got good plumbing and everything is there. But I was real close to the edge there.
Wow.
And how's your heart, Marie?
Well, I actually, I think Joey, all of our siblings have been checked except for Annie. I don't think Annie has, because that's something your cardiologist strongly encouraged all of us to be tested. And it's called a calcium score. Is that right, Mike? That's the right term, calcium score. And I was, since Mike had this, I went to a cardiologist and had all kinds of tests done, but also had the calcium score, which is a special test that they don't typically, test you for unless they're, in Mike's situation.
I know, even though it's close to detecting heart, some insurances don't pay for it. So it's like, whatever. Again, I'm in the business. Doesn't make sense to me, but there you go. But that's,
it's much more like an MRI too, as opposed to an X-ray, right? It's much more like an MRI.
It's
kind of exam.
Yeah. And
I had one a couple of years ago.
A CAT scan with a calcium score.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you're good. Yeah. Mine was,
unbelievable.
Yeah, anything over 1,000 is bad. Mine was 1,910, and so
Oh.
that's when everyone was like, but they weren't alarmed by it. And I remember with the cardiac cath where they
Mhm.
viewed the video, the heart. The doctor came around to me and he goes, and his eyes were really wide open, and he was like scared. It was like, you got several blockages. You need open heart surgery right away. And I'm like, what?
What?
I just thought I was going to get a stent at the worst case scenario. But
Yeah.
That's right.
anyhow, yeah, when the doctor's scared or the pilot, flying your plane says, "Hey, buckle up," yeah, that's what it felt like. Oh wow, he's scared. That must be really bad.
So guys, thank you very much for coming on tonight. Marie, it was a
Oh.
pleasant surprise to have you drop
Aw.
in tonight.
No.
This doesn't make you immune, Marie, of us trying to get you back on, okay? You can't
Might
shake
get you
this
run
one
off.
off.
Okay.
Can't
Okay.
shake this one off. Doesn't
All
count.
right. Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
we all
Yeah.
like surprises, so I'm
glad you did this. It was a
to
very
jump
nice
on
treat.
and to be with all of you tonight. It was a joy for sure. It was great to see you both, and Mike always is. We're gonna see you
Dave
we'll see you
Jackson
next week
surprise.
or in a couple weeks.
That's
We'll
it.
be- Mike and I will be celebrating our birthdays
Mhm.
together. We don't always get a chance to do that. Our birthdays are in April, April 19th.
There you go.
And but it just so happens my husband and I are going to be in Baltimore, where our son lives, our son and daughter-in-law, and we're going to be watching our two grandsons. So we're going to be in
Nice.
the area, and we're going to, and it'll be right around the time of our birthday. So we're planning on being together. So that'll be nice. That
That'll be
doesn't always
great.
happen, so
Lots of pictures.
Lots of pictures.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
We expect to see
All
them.
right. Well, thanks again.
All right.
All right,
Well, thank
baby.
you
Thank
both, you
you.
guys.
All right.
For coming in. Now I see a fourth. All right. Now I see a fourth person here.
Yeah. Who have you got? Who have you got chiming in now, Mike?
This is another Dave Jackson surprise. I mean, believe me, Dave Seymour is culpable in all of this. So he's
All right.
All right. So Barks, I'm not sure who Barks is yet.
Yeah, it's a big
I
mystery.
need a microphone and a video with Mr. Barks.
yeah. He's from McGraw's originally. So
Okay, there's Mr. Barks. He's getting going. It's dark. He's connecting his audio.
It's like the Masked Singer.
It is like a mass singer.
right.
Lurking in the shadows here.
So I was trying to think of that earlier. That Johnny, who is that?
Oh, no way.
Yeah, there we go. They
Gentlemen.
Look at this
There
guy.
he
Look
is.
at this guy.
Except I can't get on the video. What the hell's going on here?
You got to look down at the bottom to the left.
Yeah.
What's
The video.
going on, fellas?
Kurt, what's going on, man?
Hey, Kurt, how are you?
Jackson?
That's Dave Jackson.
Looking good, buddy. How are
Hey.
you?
I do what I can, man. I do what I can.
You're
Hey,
the
Kurt.
only one of us with hair.
Well, no, Dave's got a full crop still going. Mike's not doing too bad.
I'm hanging in there.
He's hanging in there.
I'm working on it. I still have a little bit. I got to
Well,
come
you
in both ends.
Gonna say, Dave, you got it in both places, buddy.
Both ends, man. So
Facial hair equilibrium.
something like
Nice.
it balances, but I list to one side.
That Barker? You on the call, Barker?
That is Barker.
Wow.
It's a semi-family.
I'm just here to watch,
You just here to watch. Well, you can just watch if you
like I always do.
Wasn't that Dave Seymour who said, I will be heard and not seen as usual? Is that you, Dave?
Oh, and your prophecy?
And the senior yearbook prophecy.
Who did say it? I remember that now. Was that yours, Dave?
No,
No, I don't think so.
no, that mine was something else.
I'm thinking of somebody else, I guess.
Yeah.
Very profound, though. I gave you credit, Dave.
Well, you can give me credit.
So while we're waiting on mystery person here, Mike, any more questions you got for us that you're kind of curious about, wondering about?
Great that you're doing this. I think again, another example of don't forget your roots, where you come from, and
That's it, man.
and being like I was saying earlier, humble. And
Mhm.
I told them the Newark Valley story there. They asked me like, what if I had to do something over again, what would I do there? So anyway, those guys
Block tackled the opponent, right?
yeah, that
Oh, I forgot about that. That was a nice move, Mots. That was a good
yeah,
one.
that was good. That's the first time I ever heard flagrant. And
It's actually got the
Yeah,
word
flagrant
flag in
too.
it too, Mike, just so you know. You were
Yeah.
flagged.
yeah, that's right. I mean, the basketball official, if he had a flag in his, if he could have thrown a flag, he would have then, as a basketball official. But,
Now,
anyhow,
I see another one. Here's Rick's iPhone. We just got to turn on your video, Rick. There we go.
Bart, do you see anything in your menu
Yeah,
there?
I got, the mute stuff, the stop video.
What's
I
happening?
was working the other day. Oh, man. There's Paige, of course.
There's Motsay.
And then there's Paige.
And
And
then
then you've been paged.
You've
What
been
the
paged.
hell? We could practically start a band with this group here. Look at
Oh,
this.
yeah. We're going to take this on the road.
Wow.
How are you, Rick?
Rick Page.
Hey, what's happening?
What's going on, man? I'm glad you and your iPhone found your way in.
I'm glad you all
Yeah.
made it. This is great. This is good.
I've been following you guys, man. You're rock stars.
Oh, stop.
Oh,
Stop.
yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah,
make us
congratulations,
blush.
guys. You're doing great. This is awesome.
Well, don't.
Yeah.
Just so, and I told Marie the same thing, guys. This doesn't immune you for us not getting you guys on for individual interviews. So
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
Well,
you can't check this
We-
off as fun.
We'll be coming for you at some point here.
Yeah. We'll be coming.
Everybody
Yeah.
gets their own show.
all
All
right.
right. So Mike, since you've got two of your compadres here from the sports world, I know you've got something on these guys.
Oh, geez. Oh, it's
Oh,
Well,
you don't want to start.
yeah.
Well, maybe it's almost better to ask Kurt for stories about Mike.
Oh,
Okay.
there you go. Yeah, the
All right.
paybacks are hell. I was just going to say that
Hey,
about
Kurt.
them, but yeah, just-
What's the floor, Kurt?
Or,
Gosh, I don't know. There's so many, Dave. I don't know where to start. I mean, the
Well,
locker room stories, it never ends.
back
well,
in the day.
Give us
Yeah.
one.
what's
give us a
one of
tidbit.
your favorite stories about Mike, or that involves all of you guys, or Mike?
Well, I don't know. I got to say, Mike was always a team player. He really tried to rally the troops to be a team. Always. Mike was the team leader and said, "Come on, guys, let's do this."
We can do it.
That's all I
Who's with
remember
me?
about him.
Yeah. It was
So-
like that when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Right,
with German
exactly.
football.
Who's with me? Come on.
That's a great quote. I like that. Great movie.
It might have been the time. Wait, were we still high school lots? We went to Auburn and got attacked by a mob of 40 people in your Ford Mustang. Was that high school days?
That was a Groton. They said, was it Groton a rivalry? And I guess, yeah, that night in Auburn, Groton was a rivalry that night.
Now, how did you end up in Auburn with Groton?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Mustang.
We hadn't been kicked out of there yet, so we figured we'd
Yeah.
check it out. But we checked that box that night.
Yes, we did. Yep, got that one done. Lacey was with us, thankfully. Our
Yeah.
muscle.
Yeah,
What did you guys do to instigate that?
I don't know
You didn't show up.
It was a pool game. It was something real important like that. It was a pool
Yeah,
game.
like pool game,
Shooting
something
pool.
really, really important.
Yeah, our quarters were up next. Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't
It was
over
our-
a girl. It wasn't over turf. It was over a pool game.
Yeah, it was, yeah, our quarters were up next or their, or somebody else thought theirs were. I don't know, but yeah, good times. That was high school. Yeah, that was high school.
Okay,
George-
good. Yeah, I can't remember.
George Zimney from Groton. Remember that?
George Zimney, yes. He had you up against the wall with his elbow. Your feet were 2 feet off the ground.
What? That's great.
Yeah, my sister Marie should have been there because she would have kicked his butt.
Yeah. He
That's
was bigger than
great.
both of us put together. He was a big guy. Holy cow, he was big.
Yeah, yeah.
And you said Jeff Lacey was your muscle?
Yeah.
Was
Was
he
Lacey there,
there?
Motts? I can't
I
remember.
don't know if he was there that night, but he was there another time.
Okay. The other time.
Yeah, we frequented Auburn there for a while, for a little bit. And
Why was that? Because we didn't get kicked out of Auburn yet. We had to find new territory. Was that right?
yeah, it was getting old.
We had
Before
to
we-
find new territory.
But
Kicked out of Auburn. Now tell me about that.
yeah.
Well, we know we got kicked out of every bar in Ithaca and Cortland, so we had to find someplace new.
Oh,
So-
I see. Okay. So did you guys go as the team?
No, that's just Rude and I
Yeah.
back in that day. And
Motsay had a whole summer of every night we were out someplace together getting kicked
it
out
was-
of a bar.
Yeah, we were in. One time we were waiting for Everett to come down his driveway from Old Baldy there, and he never showed up. We just sat there at the bottom of the hill, just waiting at him. Anyhow, yeah, it just, it was back and dry. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
You drink Genesee cream ale at the bottom of Old Baldy
Yeah.
in Motsay's Mustang.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, Mike, you had the Mustang.
Yeah, that was a lemon. You didn't know whether it was gonna overheat or what, but we survived.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, what was your favorite way to get kicked out of a bar?
Jeez, well, wait, we didn't literally get kicked out. We just use that as a way. So it just
Oh, I see.
to get the wrong impression. No, but it was I don't know. We had just hung out a lot of places. I'm trying to think where are some of the other places? Remember Big Red bar there and
Johnny's Big Red Grill. Yeah. That was great.
That was
Where
it.
that at?
We actually
Doctor-
did get kicked out of there, didn't we, though? I think we did.
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
But Doc, of course, the 40 we did that a lot. That was a big place to go. And
Mhm.
Yep.
and, Paige, I remember driving down to North Carolina with him in his Corvette through the night, and then we were driving down one of the back roads of Carolina, and this car comes out of sees us coming by, and it's some NASCAR wannabe pulls out, and I don't know, was that a Mustang or a Camaro? It was something, but he just flew right up, beside us and wanted to drag race us on these back roads.
What did Rick do? What did you do, Rick?
Yeah.
Did you
Oh,
race?
I don't remember.
His bet, it was the power. It was like, yeah, he hit the pedal and it knocked you back, and that was a powerful car. I remember that. And anyhow, yeah, that's another road trip with Paige. He had a green light. We were going to spring break. This is before he got the sunburn. I was just telling him earlier about your sunburn. Anyhow,
Oh, I love the sunburn story. That's one of my
the
favorites.
sunburn. He's laying in bed. He couldn't move. Oh, he's always moaning and groaning and just
Lobster boy.
yeah. Anyhow, but we were taking off and we were traveling through the night. We just drive straight through there, but he had this light. He put in a cigarette lighter and he put it on, and it was a green light. Not that meant anything, but it was flashing, so cars would get out of our way thinking we're some emergency vehicle. Of course, now you do that. He had all the radar detectors. Of course, when I was driving, the radar detector didn't work because they, so I got the speeding ticket for measuring you between two white lines. Yeah, remember that from Binghamton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Too, Ruth? Were you in there then? Anyhow, yeah, we found our fair share of trouble. Every now, fair share.
Good times.
There's that.
But back in high school, though, Paige, you were more hockey then, right? You you did a lot of hockey.
Yeah, hockey,
Ithaca.
soccer,
Mhm.
Soccer.
Parker and I did soccer, golf. That worked out well for me.
Rick, where'd you play hockey? Did you play it at Cornell or somewhere else?
I
Or
played
Casper?
Ithaca hockey growing up all the way through college.
Uh-huh.
Where'd you play at?
You played
Outdoors?
Cass Park or somewhere
Yeah,
else?
yeah.
Liner Rink, I think, was the other one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hockey and soccer. Barker, you played soccer at Dryden? Did you really do that?
No, I came over after the soccer season.
Okay.
Oh, I thought
Greatest-
you played it. I thought
Greatest
you
moment
played
of my
it.
life hanging out with you guys. That was a
Yeah,
real-
hey, Bart, tell your story about coming over to Dryden, what that, how that worked.
No, sorry, I can't get the camera on, fellas.
It's probably better for us, you know.
Yeah,
that's-
exactly.
That's good.
No, it was I got playing basketball with these knuckleheads the summer before, and
Mm-hmm.
or you know what, Motsay said, well, why don't you just come on over here? So I had known the Hamiltons for a long time, and so yeah, that senior season, that senior year, I came over and should have done it a long time ago. Great people. I mean, everybody in the school welcomed me. I
Mhm.
mean, everybody. Everett's mom was one of the sweetest ladies there was. And I know one time we were sitting out in the that foyer or the vestibule there, right in there where the lion is and all that stuff.
Yeah, yep.
Cooper came out, says, "Hey, Barker, aren't you supposed to be over at band?" Because I played band in McGraw, and I had started out there, and I said, "Yeah." Mott said I don't have to go anymore. He said, I don't know about that.
You mean Ferris Bueller?
So, he said, "Nah, you better get down there. I'll talk with Motts later." So, yeah, that was no, it was the greatest time. I mean, these guys that you have on here, this thing you're doing, fellas, I don't know if I got a chance to meet you that much, but these guys you got on here are my best friends, and I spent 6 months at your school, and it was
Just from
should have
that.
came
yeah.
over before. It was great. It was great school. Everybody was great.
Yeah, we had a good group. We had a good group. We
Yeah.
had a good class.
Bart joined us at Cortland State too. So yeah, these guys would come and visit us at Cortland, and yeah, we were all the same group there. From the Long Island and Rochester, upstate New York area. Yeah, just so yeah, we got a collectively a big group, and it's the roots are from Dryden for sure.
Yeah, Barker fit right in immediately. He was one of us in the second. He was great.
Watching Joey Motsay suck down Jello
Oh yeah.
squares at lunchtime. I was like, "Who the hell's this guy?"
And yeah, that was you never knew what he was going to do next, and
The only time, and I don't mean this to sound anything worse than what it really was. The only time I had interaction with Joey was in the cafeteria. He decided to throw food at me one day. Just I don't know why.
What a shock that was!
Yeah,
he-
there's a
he
shocker.
threw food at me, and I got up and then grabbed my tray and threw it right back at his back, right square in the middle of his back. And he turned around. We got nose to nose, and then we just kind of looked at each other. And then Mr. Struley came in because he used to run the lunchroom, and he said, "Guys, come on." So we
wow.
got separated. What do I?
At least he didn't get you out on Katie Lane.
Yeah, there was no. Dude, the Katie Lane fights were amazing. Amazing.
So tell me about the Katie Lane fights, because I don't know anything about that. What was
Well,
that?
It's epic.
that was
Go ahead, Rick. You start.
Okay, so first of all, where's Katie Lane?
Up behind the,
yeah.
It's in
behind the
Dryden.
school.
That's
Behind the school?
that's
All right.
that's exactly where what I said too when they were first bringing it up. It was something like hoods against the jocks kind of thing.
Yeah.
Dennis
Big
Blake
rumble
had
on
an
Katie
issue.
Lane.
All right.
Dennis Blake had an issue with Joey, and Joey's like, I don't know what the issue is or whatever, but it was like Brian White goes, we're gonna meet at, at 3 o'clock at Katy Lane. And it's like,
Yep.
okay, yeah, all right, yeah, that's dead on. And then turn around, walk away. Where the fuck's Katy Lane?
Yeah.
It's like, so it's like figure that out. And yeah, it ended up being, it was amazing how many cars were lined up there. And,
Yep.
and it's over there behind Dennis Richards' house. What is that? Remember the farm they had? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I know exactly where it's at. I'm just trying to
How to
put a
describe it?
reference. Dave.
Yeah,
It's in Freeville, Dave.
you're heading back from the school towards Freeville,
Yeah.
and it's right past the Richards farm there. You take a right and it goes up over the hill.
That hill.
And
Yep.
there you are.
All right.
And there you are. So anyhow,
Oh, there it is right there. It's between Katie. That wasn't the one that came down the steep hill, was it?
Yeah.
yeah, it was. So anyhow,
Oh,
Yeah.
you went to the top. I didn't realize that was called Katy Lane, and then I went down to Marquis's Farms.
yeah,
Correct.
there you go.
Yeah,
There-
that's the place.
Some like crossroads or whatever, but there was cars lined up on both sides, and they went at it for a couple minutes, and and then they kissed and made up, and everything's good. So
I was there for the McCartney Brian White one.
oh wow, was that the
I
same
missed that
time?
one. How'd that go, Dave?
McCartney won very quickly.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I missed that one. Brian White was a tough nut.
Yep, Doug won that one.
Hmm.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah. Geez.
So, approximately how often was there a fight on Katy Lane? Once a week? Once a month?
I only went to one. I only saw the one.
You
I
went
only
to
saw the
one.
one. I just knew of them because the one Mike talked about and the one I went to with Doug McCartney.
I am blissfully ignorant. I have no recollection.
I'm with you, Dave. I heard about it. I never made one. I think I got suspended for one. So Miss Hassey just suspended me for missing class or something. So I couldn't go.
Okay.
So yeah, I missed the only one, the Joey fight. So
So you were in suspension. You couldn't go.
I couldn't make it. Yeah. And she said if I didn't go to suspension or detention, I was going to be kicked out of class. So I had to go.
What did you do, Kurt? Pray tell.
I was pretty obnoxious as a junior
No.
and senior, so God only
No,
knows
you
what I
were
did.
not. I won't hear of that. No way. No way.
I don't remember what I did, but it pissed her off enough, so I had to go sit in detention for 2 days or something. So
There you go.
Hey, did you ever get suspended or detention?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
Here you go.
Yeah. I got detention one time for tying flies to the back of, I think it was Leslie Delhana's hair.
I would pay money to see that right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh
I
man.
think it was her. Yeah, I remember. I got detention one time for putting a picture of Cheryl Teagues up on
You're just warming up. I can see that.
rolling balls movie screen. Remember he used to pull those down? I don't know
Yeah,
if
you pull
you
them
guys
down,
had-
right?
Yeah. So he pulls it down and he goes to sleep in the back or eats an apple or something. And yeah, I had taped a poster of Cheryl Teagues on the thing. Me and Steve Faint. We used to cause
Oh, there's a name.
all sorts of shit in physics.
He was a
Well,
funny guy.
I think we blew up the lab like 6 times. I don't know.
Entirely possible.
Steve would just drop beakers on the ground just to get him all riled up.
Well, you know what the thing was, right? You had to put your pinky under the beaker, otherwise you'd have a star crack. Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
star crack.
Star
Yep.
crack, try a star crack.
That's right.
You don't want a star crack. No star
Don't
crack.
star crack.
Totally forgot about that.
How was that not a band name? Good man.
It could have been.
That's a good point. That's a good name.
He was my neighbor, man.
Joel was?
Yeah.
Yep.
Joel's a good dude. You know what? Joel was a really good dude. I liked him.
Yep.
Yeah. We hung out with Joel a lot.
We hung out with Joel a lot. He was in the band, and he was a tuba player, and we hung out quite a bit.
Yeah, he was a good kid.
He was a
Good
good
man.
guy.
No, I mean, geez, no, I was pretty studious. I told you I had, with Stan Hugo, Craig Kirk got me through that class. And
Well, was he tutoring you or was he helping you cheat?
I mean, you couldn't cheat on that. You had to do the formulas. If you didn't do the formulas, same
But-
with styles, with geometry. I mean, geez, it's like either you know it or you don't.
so you didn't pass a note. You didn't look over somebody else's stuff that was helping you out. You didn't have a compadre.
What's that, Dave?
What did you find a way to pull off a stunt, a cheat in a class and during a test or anything?
I mean,
No,
what
I
is-
didn't do that. But when I got plopped down in geometry next to Mike's sister Marie, I gave me motivation to learn this shit because I was trying to impress the hot chick. So, Marie and
that
I learned
how'd
how
that
to
work out
learn
for you?
geometry together.
Yeah.
Did that work out?
How'd that work
Oh
out?
yeah, I aced the regions in geometry. So I'm not sure
Okay.
how what Marie did, but I didn't care. I did great.
Did you have styles?
Yeah, Styles. Yeah,
Yeah, he was good. I like that.
he was good. Yep.
And,
So yeah, I'd meet Marie every chance in the library. We'd do the geometry together. It was great. So we helped each other out. So I think Hugo kicked me out of his class. I didn't last long in there. That was boring. He was vicious.
Mhm.
Hard
So-
teacher. I enjoyed algebra.
What's that, Dave?
I enjoyed algebra. I enjoyed Mr. Hugo. That's as far as I went. Geometry is where I stopped.
I thought algebra wasn't Hugo Trigg. What was he do?
yeah,
What did he
he
do?
was triggering.
It was Gridley.
Hugo
Gridley
was,
was algebra.
I
think he-
had Gridley and Hugo. First year was Gridley. I had second year for Hugo.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You took
then,
algebra twice?
Yeah, well,
but
Hugo,
there was a-
Hugo
there was a
taught.
two-
Yeah, Hugo taught trig. Styles taught geometry and calculus. So
Gotcha.
some of us took calculus in 12th grade instead of study hall, Dave. So,
I had enough credits. What can I tell you?
I got the let's fill up your schedule talk.
Yeah. No, I didn't get that talk.
I had
What do you want?
I had
What do you want?
I had Ada Abate. Does anybody have Ada?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I had
didn't remember
her.
the
Yeah.
name. Yeah, I didn't have
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, she was great.
That was another reason I went to detention for a while.
My wife counseled at Dryden School 15 years after we graduated, and Ada Bate could not stop talking about our class, the class of 80. She loved us.
And that was the name I was thinking of earlier, guys, when I couldn't think of, like, we were all in that class together.
Yeah, yeah.
That, when it came senioritis, during the spring when, she was cool enough, like, because I wasn't there. And it
Yeah.
skipped class or whatever. But yeah, Ada Bate, that was the name.
Yep.
She was cool.
Yeah, she still talked about us 15 years later. She was great.
I was going to say, so the class of 80 had a reputation then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were the cool kids. Dave and Dave.
Clearly.
I talked earlier about Walt Dippo and I got to see him when I was at Cortland. I worked at bartended at Dark Horse and he would come in every now and then. But I remember sitting down and chatting with him. Just here it is, post high school. But he had several championship teams throughout the years. And Bark, you may remember this, the Abatellos and all. But he just said like our class had something special. It was a lot of fun. It was the last time he coached, but he went out with our team, which we had a cast of characters with as I was pointed out earlier. But that was one point I didn't make. But yeah, coming from him, who's been there many trips around the block with several championship teams. Yeah, we were.
Mhm.
But that was the team. But I think it accentuates exactly what we had as a class. We were together for a long time, and
Well, I'm bummed Mr. Barker's not showing his face.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I've been trying, but
Well, the rest of us are happy, Barker, so we're good.
yeah, exactly. Yes.
Ken Cardwell was going to make it, but he's traveling and he's in the air right now, so he can't be
okay.
here. And Everett, he had already done it once, but he said that he was going to try and make it, but he had a conflict as well. So we were a couple guys short, but they did say,
You had the whole posse lined up.
yeah. So we
That's what we were
reached out. It's about the invite. They would have been, upset if they weren't included, but
That's the Mike Motsay
way.
way. Mott's peoples. That's what defines him is Motsay's peeps.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, lots of speech, yeah.
I like that.
My posse, right
There's
there.
the tag right there, Dave. There's the tag right there.
All right.
Yep, there it is. All right. Well, Mike and crew, Kurt,
Thank you.
and Rick, guys, thank you for coming on and sharing these stories with us. But again, Rick and Kurt, we're going to have you guys on separately.
Okay.
We know like triple teaming.
We'll find you.
We'll find
Yeah,
you.
we'll do it again. That sounds
Yeah.
good, boys. Thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming on, man. It was a wonderful surprise. And you too, Rick. Thank you so much, man.
All right. Hey, good job, guys.
All right.
Good night,
All
guys.
right, boys. See y'all
Night,
later.
fellas.
All right. Good night. We've been-
Cheers.
We've been
Cheers,
yakking for a while. All right.
Class of
Thanks,
80.
guys, for playing along.
Take
Cheers.
care, guys.
All right. Take care.